It's Tuesday night. It's 1900 hours, and I hate my laptop. Hey, boys and girls,
Good
guys
evening.
and gals,
Good evening.
beer drinkers, non-beer drinkers, vapors, non-vapors, engineers, non-engineers. What's up, Alex? How's it going, brother?
Oh, it's going.
Hey, first thing out of the gate, man, I got to thank you for covering for me last week.
Oh, yeah, no problem. It was fun.
Yeah,
It was a good time.
I'm getting kicked out of the barracks. Yeah, that's not funny. So what, you just gonna sit there and eat Cheez-Its, McLevin, or what?
Look, if you want me to push buttons,
Didn't even see these.
Wow.
apparently he's African American.
There was a little bit of a rumor today that was kind of an adult African American woman snack.
If you want me to push the buttons, I'm gonna do it. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Stop it now. So how's everybody's? Shut up. Just shut up.
Go ahead.
Now I was going to ask everybody's weekend, last weekage, this weekage.
My week was a bit traumatic, to be honest
Traumatic?
with you, Michael.
Everything good? Everything good?
Oh, yeah, no, I sold my Glock 27, which I've had for 20-something years.
Selling the baby is right.
Been my carry gun for over 20 years, and I finally sold her off. Sold it for more than I paid for it the day I bought it.
Isn't that a beautiful
years
thing?
ago? It's amazing, right?
Yep.
But yeah, it felt like getting rid of a kid. It was
the baby Glock.
Yeah.
The baby Glock. Dang, shoot. You still carrying I won't ask about the weapon, but I'll ask about the caliber.
9mm.
Thank you. Look at that. I swear, I was talking good about you this morning on the morning show, too. Did you hear that?
I did. I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. I said if I was to swing the other way, I'd lick your whole face, dude. Now that you're going 9mm, oh, my God. Come over here and spoon with me.
Even my 27, I converted to 9mm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I switch out the barrels and
yeah. I swapped out. A lot of people just switch out the barrel. I swapped out the barrel, the trigger housing, spring-loaded bearing, and the ejector.
Yeah, we got to get you a girlfriend, dude.
So yeah, yeah, a little bit too much time, right?
Too much time on my hands. All right, there, McLovin. How about you, brother? What's going on?
Living the life,
Living the life of what? That's what I'm
being
concerned
the
about.
engineer of a growing radio station, online radio station, and then also my side job.
Why? You kind of looked at me with googly eyes when you said that, like a growing radio station.
Because
scare me.
Because I'm just erect with happiness.
Wow,
that's
a hard
way to be.
That's a hard
happy,
subject,
I guess.
It's hard subject to keep going on. I got a
that's-
solid B cup going here. Check it out, boys. I wear black. Camera puts on about 100 pounds, so they say. Yeah. All right, me. Since y'all are gonna ask, the hell with you.
How was your
how's
week?
your week, Mike?
Hey, I'm fine. Good. Let's go to the first topic. No. Interesting week. Church, man. Sunday. You guys know I'm a church goer. Church was just amazing Sunday. It just really the message. Isn't it amazing? I'm not going to get into religion, because Scotty will like fast rope down through one of the windows and don't talk religion, and he does it in that Lucifer voice. Don't talk religion. Hey, what was that?
That was my satanic.
Oh, Jesus! Freaking! I thought it was Scotty rappelling down the steps, the banister. No, pretty good. Yesterday was awesome day. Enjoyed it. Beautiful weather. I love this time of the year. Can't wait till it gets cold.
Still hot though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little muggy. Mornings nice, cool. Afternoons warm, sunny. And of course, if you guys don't know, the Just for Fun Radio worldwide internet radio station studio is on a lake, so we get some really cool. You ever gone like geese hunting or duck hunting? Never was my thing.
Pheasant.
Pheasant hunting, yeah, a little different,
Pheasant hunting.
Look, man, pheasant hunting in Connecticut.
Release the hound.
Hey, pheasant hunting in Connecticut, man. They literally, some kid, they pay like $20 for the day, and he hides in some little like long grass, and he throws it up in the air right at you. It's like more challenging, than freaking skeet shooting, I guess. You can't eat a skeet, but you can eat a pheasant. Ringneck pheasants. I remember they were trying to get me to buy a bunch of them. because you buy them for like 8 cents, you know, and you buy 427 million of them.
Live or
Yeah, they're like little chicks, and you buy them, and then you feed them, and then you throw them up in the air and shoot them. Gotta love this country, man. Oh, that's great. Hey, tonight on the show, since we're talking about killing small defenseless animals, let's get to the real stuff. Of course, we're going to talk about firearm safety for just a moment. We like to get started with that because you know what? It's always there. Every single solitary time you pick up a weapon, that's what you do. Actually, we were goofing around in the Just for Fun van today doing Periscope. And I kept pointing the gun in the camera. That probably wasn't good gun safety.
no?
Okay. Well, if I wouldn't have told them myself.
You know, it's like I said, people on, reviewers on YouTube get beat up all the time with comments. Oh my God, I can't believe you pointed the gun at the camera. Fuck off. Seriously.
We gotta pay for that.
Here he comes.
We're not under the purview of the FCC. We're fine.
Yeah. And we're past 7 o'clock in the morning.
But don't point the gun at the camera. Who cares?
It was
point
in the holster,
Michael.
too,
If you
so.
want to point your gun at your own damn phone, point your gun at your own damn phone.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Right.
And I did it a couple times too. And I was in a great mood, so it was fun.
Here's the thing: it wasn't his phone
Or my gun.
or his gun.
You gotta love it. Hey, tonight on the show, like I said, we're going to talk about a little bit of that. We're going to talk about one incredibly big ass rifle that's out there, the .905. I did a little research on that. Put a video up on our Facebook page, Guns and Gadgets with Just for Fun Radio, so you can check that out because that is a massive rifle. It looks like a lot of fun to shoot. I think the guy said it was like $8 a round or $10 a round. That's crazy. It's good stuff. On the way in this morning, somebody was tailgating me, and instead of doing a brake check, old McLovin over here offered to take my Smith & Wesson 9mm and pointed out the window, and I'm like, I don't want you to do it because the rounds that I have in there are really expensive. They're about 50 cents a piece.
I would have paid.
And he goes, well, I'll just shoot 4 rounds at them and give you $1. I'm like, dude, that's
No, we go halfsies on it.
you're still 2 rounds short.
We go Dutch on the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? We could maybe go German. I get it. Du sprechen ein bisschen Deutsch? Ich verstehe Sie. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. The NRA. We certainly we want to talk about that. In fact, we're going to have our resident woman's point of view from Sierra 6. She's a shooter. She's beautiful. And she's smart. She's a triple threat. Sierra 6 will be calling in probably around 2000. We'll get her on the phone, find out what she thinks about the NRA.
Those on YouTube, you're seeing a picture of her now.
Yes. If you're watching our YouTube channel, which I hope you subscribe to our Just for Fun Radio YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Is that French? Chanel?
Chanel, yes.
Remember that chick over there, Chanel West Coast? That was on Redunculous or Ridiculous. She got in jail, didn't she? Or I heard she went bankrupt.
No, dude, no. I will follow her on Instagram. She is huge right now.
Really? Didn't she just get kicked out of a club a couple weeks ago?
It doesn't matter, right?
I think
she's.
We're talking about Chanel West Coast.
Yeah, the girl that was on Rob Dyrdek's.
Dude, she went bankrupt about a year ago.
She's a rapper now, a singer, performer, R&B. No,
can you rap in a string bikini?
She posts a photograph on Instagram, and like within 10 minutes, it's got 30,000 likes.
Yeah, well, I have that same problem.
Yeah, I mean it's something you get used to.
I know it's
half
tough.
naked. When you do it.
And if I was to be half naked, can you imagine
all the people throwing up?
Yeah.
So I'm over here trying to build a damn.
I see that. What do you got going, dude?
Yeah,
I'm
you
trying
look like
to-
you're hardwiring.
Oh God, it's a nightmare.
If you're watching YouTube, man, and you really got to subscribe to this channel, man. YouTube, Just for Fun Radio
He's
with us.
making a detonator.
Look.
Well, you were talking about sub-ohm vaping again this morning.
Well, look. I want you to look at something. I want you to look over here on my side of the studio. Nice, neat, organized. I want you to look over at McLovin. It looks like a freaking studio IED went off over here. And then I don't even know what to say about that over there.
Hey, man, when you get into the sub-ohm game, this is what happens.
You got to have your own workshop, man.
Get into this sub-ohm game.
You got to definitely.
I got a box of tools, and I just can't get this to work. This is ridiculous. I don't know how they do this, I swear. But yeah, so anybody that is watching that wonders what I'm up to, I'm trying to build a dripper.
Oh, Gesundheit.
I got McLovin.
There you go.
See, I'm trying to concentrate on this and talking to the mic. I got McLovin shoving the mic up in my face because I keep moving away from it. It's I'm gonna try to get this done.
I'm doing it for the viewers.
Yeah, he likes to put things in their face.
But my plan here, after listening to you guys talk on the morning show, is to build this thing.
Don't do it, man.
Is to build this thing up and start blowing some massive clouds.
Don't do it.
Some massive clouds.
Don't do it. Okay, I did my part. I said it, so that's all.
There we go.
That's all I can do.
Don't do what?
Nothing. How are you today?
Don't blow massive clouds. I'm going to. Scott might get annoyed for a minute, but he'll be right. I'm just a guest on the show. So.
Oh no, you're a full-fledged co-host, man.
Right,
yeah,
right.
You're a full-fledged co-host.
No, we won't pay you. Don't ask.
A co-hoster, holster. Get it? A coal because it's guns and holster.
On,
get
please.
it? Okay. So what I say, we were going to talk about the NRA. We're going to ask. We're going to Sierra 6 about that too.
Well, I want to talk about. I want to talk about. Obviously, activism and protecting our rights because we're coming under an unprecedented attack at the moment from the anti-gunners. And my question to people out there is, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Are you a member of the NRA? And if you aren't a member of the NRA, why?
Well, it's a little early to jump right into that, I would say.
Yeah,
because that's
we'll
going to be, because that's one that I want to get venom on because they speak so much for us as gun owners because you're right. But, in the day and age of Donald Trump, it seems like people are getting out there some more. Hey, I wanted to hit on a topic, kind of a big deal for me and my family, being that we're military and law enforcement. This nonsense about people getting killed, man. Law enforcement officers being gunned down in our country. I know it's a downer. I want to get this out of the way. I want to say my piece. I want to get you guys' take on it, and then we'll move on. You know what? There used to be a time and a frame in this country where there was respect for officers because of what they were doing to protect us. I understand that slid a lot and went over to the military, and thank God. I appreciate it. I always appreciate all the things that are said to us veterans. But I had no intention that it would pull away from the respect that law enforcement officers would get. And this guy who killed this deputy this week, and from what I understand, now there's been like 80 plus officers killed in the line of duty this year, which is staggering for our country. But there's been like 8 or 9 because I just read something. So I'm going to go ahead and say 9 in the last week and a half. Because if you haven't found out about it, there was another deputy shot this afternoon and killed. But before we get to that one, I want to talk about the one this week. That the guy who shot him, he walked up and he basically executed him and then emptied out a 15-round magazine into him. While he stood above him. He was found mentally incompetent in 2012. So there's there's a lot to be said for that. There really is. Does this guy not have a family? Does he not have any friends? Does he not? How is it that somebody that's mentally incompetent? Now I'm mentally weird, but I'm not mentally incompetent. Well, I guess that's up for debate. But I don't want to go to a point where, if I think I would be self-policing at this point, if I felt that I couldn't safely carry a firearm, I'd give it up.
Yeah,
I'd give it up. But this guy, I don't even know what to say sometimes because who I've got a lot of respect for in this case? The deputies that arrested him.
Why?
Because they didn't kill him.
Because they took him alive.
They didn't kill him.
Yeah,
because I can tell you in the heat of battle, I've seen what revenge does, and I've seen what people actually say about let's go get ours, and let's do a little payback and all that other stuff. So I wanted to get you guys' take. How long we got to the first commercial there?
Got about 4 minutes.
About 4 minutes. So I know you're busy over there, Alex.
4 mics out.
4 mics out. There you go. So if one of you guys can fill in about 4 minutes worth of how you feel about it, and then we'll go to a first commercial break.
You want to jump at that?
Jump in it.
Well, I mean,
yours will sound better than mine.
I mean, for sure, nobody likes it when anyone gets killed, right? Whether it's somebody mentally unstable, or if it's a police officer, or if it's just it's tough. I mean, there's a lot of anti-police sentiment, and I kind of understand why there is anti-police sentiment, but there's the far extreme that are calling, for the murder of
Yeah, like
cops.
Farrakhan and whatnot.
Yeah, they call for the murder of cops, and it's stupid. It's pointless, and it's never going to go well. I mean, even if
Yeah,
if you're that way inclined, and it's something that you find you actually want to do, you're gonna die. Well, I mean, this guy's kind of lucky, I guess, getting taken in alive. But
I don't think he'll make it a trial.
Listen, the police have a really tough job to do. They're constrained by money. They don't. There's not near enough money to give them probably the training they need. SWAT teams get trained remarkably well.
Depends on the police department.
Yeah, I mean, it
depends on the police department, the sheriff's office.
But look at DeKalb County. They had a team go into the wrong house this week or last week, whenever it was either
night before last.
Okay, night before. It was this week then. They go into the wrong house.
Yeah.
Now again, I'm of two minds of this, because they're responding to a 911 call. It was an anonymous 911 call.
Right.
The Supreme Court has already said an anonymous 911 call does not constitute probable cause, especially probable cause to go kicking in doors and shooting people.
Right.
So it goes. Now, the same thing in
wait, you can't go past it. You got to talk about this one first.
Go ahead.
An officer got shot in that.
Well, yeah, by his own team members.
Yeah, so I guess the training isn't that good.
I mean, like I said, they're constrained by they don't have the money to train them as well as.
Well, don't we always talk about that in
should.
range safety about or not range safety, but firearm safety, about being aware of your target?
Yeah, but they go into the wrong house. First of all, they immediately are confronted by a dog who they obviously
did kill.
shoot.
Yeah,
yep,
they
obviously
did. They
shoot
say
it.
what kind of dog it was? Just out of curiosity.
Not in the reports I was reading.
I was just wondering. So.
But anyway, again, I don't want to be critical of them. They thought they were going into the right house. They thought somebody was in trouble. They thought they were doing the right thing. But if in a lot of these cases, if they would just take half an hour to do a little investigation instead of immediately going to kicking in doors, maybe things like this wouldn't happen.
And man, isn't there any checks and balances on addresses? I mean, come on.
I mean, look at the incident up in North Georgia
with the baby.
Yeah, with the baby in the crib.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Listen, I understand mistakes are going to happen, but they're going to happen more often if there's no investigation into what they're doing. It happens almost every day. The police end up going into the wrong house somewhere in the country.
All right.
So again, I understand there's scrutiny of the police. I understand why, because mistakes happen, shit happens. I mean, people get shot. A lot of unarmed men have been getting shot lately. In a lot of cases, they deserve it. I can't say they deserve it, but in a lot of cases it's justified. In some cases it's not. I saw one today where a guy throws up both hands and gets two in the heart. It's crazy.
Yeah, that ain't cool.
But,
all right, let's get.
But that doesn't mean
we got to pay the bills.
That doesn't mean you turn around and start shooting policemen.
I did this on purpose so he doesn't go off on our hand. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking a first commercial break. We'll be right back. Right. Guns and gadgets.
Whew. All right, where am I at here?
We had a listener or type in here. What is Alex doing? I said vape construction there. We missed the first part of the show. Not Raspberry Beret.
What you doing there?
Boys with the 82nd Airborne. All right, so
accidents happen.
Manhunt continues.
There we go.
Continues as Lieutenant Joseph Glenowitz, ID'd at slain Illinois police officer.
Oh, this is going to be awesome. A dual twisted 28 gauge something or other type coil. I don't know what it is. I grabbed some wire out of my box and figured it would work. Yeah.
Man, something's fun. Oh, the cat stays. Never turn me on. Who's this? This is a burger smaller. Hey, what's up there, Sergeant Major?
Oh. Man, this is going to be clouds for days. Look at that, Michael.
That's amazing. I don't even know what I'm looking at.
You're looking at a couple of beautifully made coils, apparently. I think. I don't know if I got the same number of wraps on each one. I don't think it matters.
Ouch. Bam, bam, bam.
Oh, God, that's hot.
She wasn't at the house. That's why she was like worrying about this. Oh, take. Gonna watch the show until America Got Talent comes on. A Facebook friend of mine is in the semifinals tonight. I don't care, Jacob. God. He said, "Oh, my friend's phone was dead when y'all tried to call this morning. Whatever. Pay the bill."
Drugs. Oxycodone.
Cotton-ish.
I've never seen one being like constructed.
Well, technically, you're not seeing that right now either. Because I am not. I built a K-Fun. I built single coils, just a single piece of wire. This is twisted wire, and I don't know. It might work. We're gonna see, I guess. Damn it. There we go.
Hey, Barry, I guess you're watching on YouTube. The lieutenant that got shot in Illinois, man, he just about passed for Herndon. Pretty crazy.
Come on.
No, Jacob. I'm not going to try to make one of your silly phone calls on Guns for Gadgets. You know, it's like kicking the football. Like, he's like a handicapped Lucy, and I'm like Charlie Brown, you know?
Oh, is that the wrong phone numbers every week?
Every week.
Yeah. How do you not know your own phone number is my question.
No, these are his friends. But
I think he's doing it to mess with us.
yeah, this lieutenant that was killed, I was just talking to Barry there, and this guy looks like a guy we served with.
Minute 30.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he really does. Scary. Married, father of 4, man. Nicknamed G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to keep on happening. I don't know if
I think
the
it's gonna
whack
get
jobs
worse.
I don't know if the whack jobs are going to run out, or I don't know if it's just going to get worse.
It's going to get worse.
But
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy right
It's gonna get
now.
worse. You see it on whatchamacallit, social media.
Again, I understand there being some scrutiny, and I understand that people are upset
Yeah.
about some of the things that happen and some of the treatment. And
Oh yeah.
I've never thought murder is
30
really
seconds.
the answer to any problem.
Well,
Well,
just not that. Yeah, you can do it. I don't care. Darker stand.
all right. So let's see if I can blow some clouds here. That took a
And
while.
we're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
One.
All right. McLovin can count. We were doing like the Wayne's World thing too. It's like 5, 4, 3. One day I'm just gonna like clam up and I'm just gonna let you act stupid trying to do it. Jacob, our resident guru expert in the morning for music, he gives us phone numbers and stuff to call and do birthday pranks. Well, he's had a pretty bad run the last 2 weeks, and he like keeps giving us numbers and we keep calling on the morning show and there's like, thank you. It's like, what's that? The number you have reached. Well, he gave us another one this morning. He just sent me a message and he said, well, the phone was turned off. Try it again on Guns and Gadgets. No. And I'll tell you why I'm not going to. Jacob, the guru. And the reason I'm not going to, hey, that smells pretty good, man. So the reason I'm not going to is because of this one little comment right here. I'm going to watch your show until America's Got Talent comes on. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to read anymore because I don't care. Because
wants us to do his bidding.
Yeah.
While
Yeah.
while
You
he can be
call him.
bothered to watch, and
I got an
as soon
idea.
as America's Got Talent comes on, which by the way, none of them have any damn talent.
Coming from a guy from the UK. At least we got fluoride. Get it? Because there's no fluoride in the water in the UK. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
You didn't know that. Shut up. Oh, okay. So I was doing a little research during the break there and talking with a friend of mine, Barry Smallwood, with Freedom Outdoor Adventures. And the gentleman that was killed, the lieutenant that was killed up in Illinois, he looks like a friend of ours that we served with. In fact, colleagues had nicknamed this gentleman G.I. Joe. So married, father of 4. 30-year veteran, Lieutenant Joseph, and I do apologize. His name appears to be Glenowitz. Looks like a hell of a guy, man. And now, of course, because some idiot. Well, apparently there's 3 of them, and they'll find them. They're trio of cop killers is what they're calling it. It's a manhunt. They're searching everywhere. They'll find them. It's not that bad. I mean.
This,
Alex
this is.
yeah.
I don't know if you're watching on YouTube. I finished building this damn this coil dripper thing, and I'm blowing some massive clouds. But they're compared to some people, they're tiny.
How is that a massive cloud? That's not.
Yeah, no, it really isn't.
I think Alex likes to toot his own horn a little bit there because that's not a massive cloud, dude.
Like I said, compared to a lot of people, they're tiny. But I'm not one of these cloud chasers. I'm not professional at this. This is
boom. Say it. Just say it.
This is the first time I've built a dual coil thing in this dripper ever. So
I
it's not
tell
bad.
you what, over at what's the name of the place?
Rolling Rock.
Rolling Rock. I tell you what, there's a guy there. Holy smokes, man! It looked like a volcano going off. It was really cool. All right, yeah, we're told not to just talk about vaping. It could be vaping. That could probably be a whole show by itself every week. This week on vaping. Is it vaping? Vaporing? Vapage?
Vaping.
Doesn't matter. We're moving on.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
even matter.
See how I did that? It's pretty cool, huh? Well, we're kind of saying we're talking about the officers that went in the wrong door. One of the other officers, though, he did say that the apartment complex did look relatively, everything looked the same, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, man? I know it's not a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, the 911 caller didn't give an address. They didn't have an address. I think they were doing it by description. And
did they?
When you try to do something just by a description like that without an address, chances are you're going to go into the wrong house.
Yeah,
so maybe don't do that.
That's what I'm thinking. Or maybe, I'm sure we have the technology to call people back, don't we? I'm just saying. Just saying.
I mean,
I would think so.
Don't see why not.
Okay, so an officer ends up getting shot. Okay, which is not cool.
No.
And it came out today that he got shot by one of the other officers. So we used to call that fratricide. And I don't know what the police officer, law enforcement, if there is any law enforcement officers out there, and it is called fratricide, please give us a call. You can do a radio call in at 678-760-1556 and tell us if that is in the law enforcement community called fratricide as well. Then, of course, the other officer was shot and killed. All these officers being shot and killed. How about the fact that some officers get shot and killed, and the State Department sends people, the administration sends people, and there's big long speeches, and then obviously on social media they make this pretty clear that then there's nothing for some of these officers. Is that fair? Is it just
no? I mean, obviously it's not fair, but it's not. It's the White House and the Justice Department generally only make a statement when it's an unarmed black man that gets killed. Right.
Well,
and this is traditional. This is the way it's been lately. You got Michael Brown that was killed.
Right.
Turns out, and the other thing is this White House have a habit of getting behind the wrong people. The White House should also take a pause and wait for the investigation to be completed. That's probably the best before they decide to say anything, because they came to Michael Brown's defense. They came to Trayvon Martin's defense.
Right.
Turns out those are two kids that were up to no freaking good.
Yeah.
And, they ended up getting killed for it. So, I try not to take a side. I try to wait. Even the guy with his hands up that I saw today, that got that 2 in the heart, there's a question about it, because the angle of the video,
sure,
when he puts his arms up, you can't really tell if his left arm goes up in the air because there's a lamppost in the way. Right. So it could be that he put one arm up in the air, the other came down, tried to grab something, and he was shot. Who knows? The investigation will determine what happened there.
There will be those accidents, I'm sure, and it's unfortunate, and it's a frame of life. But when you talk about people having to look, I tell you what, if you're going to wrestle with an armed officer that's in uniform, like you said earlier, there's nothing good that's going to come out of that. One, he's got his Batman utility belt on, and just when you think you've got it, you've got him beat, he's going to come out with something else, a collapsible baton. I'll Jedi Knight you with a collapsible baton. I'll beat you senseless.
Yeah, and others are going to show up, right? So
there's a real good chance.
I
used to say
again,
that about the VA cops.
I'm a huge proponent of our civil rights, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe they get violated every day, but in smaller ways. I'm not talking about, it's not often somebody innocent actually gets killed.
And you're from the UK. That's kind of like bred into your system, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. But I'm a big proponent of civil rights, and I think our rights should be respected, and I think every officer should be trained to respect our civil rights. But when things go badly, just put your hands behind your back.
Yeah.
Let them arrest you. Go have your day in court.
Exactly.
Don't say anything. You've got your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, and get a lawyer. Let your lawyer do your talking for you, but have your day in court. Don't fight the police. Even if you're stupid enough to think, oh, I can beat this one officer and get the hell away, there's going to be another 12 show up, and they're going to take you down. Simple as that. And then things are a lot worse for you. Just if it's gotten to that point, if it's gotten to the point where they're going to arrest you regardless.
Yeah, at that point,
if you fight them, there's a chance you're just going to get killed.
Yeah, you're going to lose that one.
Yeah, you can't win.
And you know what? You brought up a good point when you were talking about that. Okay, you can do all that fighting and arguing and my rights. I watched a video over the weekend where this knucklehead is sitting in the car and he's going, why did you pull me over? And he's like, well, because you were speeding. And he goes, in the state of Texas or wherever the hell it was, there's no such thing as speeding. Speeding's not a crime.
Oh, is he one of these? Was he one of those free citizens?
Yeah, I guess he belonged to a sovereign state or something.
And it was a sovereign citizen.
Because after the supervisor showed up, the police officer took out that collapsible baton and did a number on his car and jerked him out of there as it should have been. Hey, look, you know what? I've seen some people getting the real crud beat out of them just because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. In Germany, the majority of the Polizei, when they're just walking around at like a beer fest or something like that, they're not armed.
Right.
They might have a billy clip, and they're not afraid to use it. And so now I'm sure they have collapsible batons. But the thing about it is when you're drunk and you're acting up in Europe, and the Polizei comes up to you. Guess what you do? You shut up.
Well, I do think the requirement to use force needs to be a lot higher. If I go by what I see the British police do and how I witness them interacting with the public, and it's very, very rare. Well, never. First of all, never do you hear a cop cuss at a citizen ever.
Yeah, right.
They are remarkably respectful of their rights, and even when it is time to take somebody down, they use the minimum force required, or the minimum they can get away with. That's not to say that sometimes they don't have to escalate, but they don't immediately escalate and then 6 people jump onto the back of somebody, put their knees in their heads, and that to me is completely unnecessary. I know the police here think it's necessary, but it's not. Just look at police departments all around the world and you'll see it's not necessary.
Did you see that video that was running around? I think I posted it yesterday. I guess it was Ferguson, and the guy is yelling and screaming, F the police, F the police. And then he is enraged. He's looking right at the officer and he goes, I dare you to arrest me. And they hosed him down, buddy. They hit him with a fog cloud of CS.
Yep.
And it was a beautiful thing. He hit the ground and drool was coming out of his ears. It was interesting, to say the least. All right, as we continue to move on, because, I talk about stuff all the time. Now, do you think that any of these police officer killings, slayings are truthfully and honestly connected to the Nation of Islam and its call for 10,000 fearless men?
No. No, I think
because if it was an organization, and it was an agent of their organization doing the crime, they'd take credit full-heartedly.
Well, I think they're having a big march. This is the Nation of Islam, so I'm not picking on anybody in particular other than the Nation of Islam. I'm not really picking on them. I think they're supposed to have a march or something 10/10, aren't they? And I apologize, I don't know the significance of that date.
I don't think it's anything to do with that. I think it's a bunch of messed up individuals, messed up in the head. That feel they're getting some kind of retribution for what they perceive as a racial injustice.
Dang, man, where'd we find this dude?
I don't know.
I don't either. How about this?
We traveled to England to find him.
Yeah. Well, that ad we ran, I didn't think anybody'd answer it though on Craigslist.
No one did weird. Except for him.
Yeah,
which is weird.
Because I didn't think they were allowed to have guns.
The really perverse thing about it is these organizations like Black Lives Matter, and you've got your Louis Farrakhan's and your Reverend Jesse Jacksons, who should be out condemning this to the strongest possible.
I agree.
How about the strongest possible terms? They should be out condemning this because it's not going to get your movement anywhere.
Oh no, it's
you know,
working,
if you
believe
if you believe this is going to bring some kind of social or you know, racial changes in this country, it's going to have the absolute opposite effect.
Not a chance.
It's going to bring more scrutiny down on your groups than anything.
And look, folks, listeners, here again, I know it's guns and gadgets. We're going to talk about some gadgets and stuff here in a little bit. We're just kind of sidetracking the actual physical gun talk as
it's
much
an important
as
issue.
It's an extremely important issue,
right? And I wish we could get onto the activism part, because it's things like this that are costing us our rights.
We'll do that in about 5.
Yeah, I was about to say right after the break, we'll be coming back with that information. But hey, I got to tell you this. Okay, this guy is calling for, you know, for 10,000 to rise up and kill those who kill us. Okay. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. If I yell fire, okay, if I yell fire in a crowded movie theater, I'm going to jail. Now, the way I understood it, if I yell, burn this bitch down, and the crowd incites and burns down a third of the buildings, you know, in Ferguson, how is it? I just don't, I'm not sure. That's the law. It's pretty clear. It's not something that's well, there's not much of a gray area there. This man is calling for 10,000 men to rise up and kill those who kill us.
Well, who is he and where is he?
Louis Farrakhan.
Oh, Farrakhan. When did he make this?
Oh, this has been going on for a couple of weeks now, like the beginning of August, and obviously today's 1st of September.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Oh,
I mean, Farrakhan's a wacko. I mean, he's a whack job. Sorry, almost went in there.
Okay,
sorry, Scott. Almost said fuck again.
All right, so here's the thing: we all agree, most of us, I guess, agree that Farrakhan's he's got a screw loose or whatever. I don't want to pick on a religion; I'll pick on the man here. But okay, how is it that he's not arrested?
I mean, it's protected speech.
No, it's not.
But it is.
No,
I mean, it's protected speech. No. There are examples people give, like the yelling fire in a movie theater.
You can't.
People will give that as an example of something you cannot do.
Right.
But you can.
Well, I mean, the laws. I've read the federal thing on it when the Ferguson thing came up. It's pretty clear. And you know, here's what I'm getting at because of the statue of or the pillar that we've put certain people up on, we're afraid to. How come the district attorney didn't slam the door on some of these folks? I don't know. You know, is it going to change when the leadership changes, when the administration changes?
There's no doubt that there's a protected class in America.
I'm not trying to go there.
But that's
because I don't know.
It does come down to that. Yeah. There is a protected class.
Yeah, I mean, Ollie North didn't serve any time, you know. So we can go back and forth on that one on a different show.
We'll also never see a president or very few politicians that ever serve any time either.
Well,
at least the high profile ones.
Well, yeah, they do the whole executive order thing,
right?
I mean, Hillary's not going to do any time for what she's done. And it's a blatant disrespect.
Exactly. And it is because there is a protected class. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's just that's the way it is. That's life, right? But
I should be protected.
You know, Farrakhan, Jesse Jackson, Sharpton, they can say whatever they want and they'll get away with it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Because if the government, well, first of all, this administration isn't going to do anything to them. But let's say the next administration is more favorable to somebody like me.
There's no administration in the world.
If they did decide, okay, we're going to prosecute him for what he said, there would be hell. You think there's trouble now?
Yeah, they'd be rioting in the streets.
Yeah,
I mean,
you think there's problems now?
Yeah. Did you see
it would be a nightmare?
Where when that officer was shot the other night, all of those people that got together, and there's so many comments about, see, there are peaceful ways to demonstrate and there are ways to show your sorrow and things of that nature. So with that being said, where we at there, Xander? Not Xander, sorry, McLovin, whoever you are.
Got about a minute out.
1 minute out. What can I talk for a minute? Let's see. No, when we come back, we'll be talking about the NRA and we'll say a couple things there. we're going to we'll have a Sierra 6. She'll be I'll probably call her. She'll call in, either one. She's a lady shooter. What do you say? A woman shooter, a lady shooter? Maybe Sierra can tell me.
Ask her. Yeah.
What she refers to. She loves to go shooting. She's very adamant about it, and she does it as much as I would like to. So we're going to find out about her take on shooting and her take on the NRA and what it means to her, as we'll discuss it as amongst ourselves as well. This is Guns and Gadgets.
We'll be right
back.
Yeah, I've always said female shooter. So I mean, who knows? Everything these days is so what? No, that's mine, dude. Does Scott not have any water in the fridge?
No, we were.
No, I got beer. And you were talking about vaping. There is a new drug that is being vaped that is causing people to basically turn into zombies. When we were in Somalia, it is what the fighters were chewing called.
That's cot. You can't vape cot.
Hey, this guy. Hey, man, look, me and a man traveled around. And yes, I'm drinking a big.
This song is dedicated to you.
You ever chewed cot?
No.
I mean, all it does is relax you.
Yeah.
Kind of spaces you out a little bit.
Oh my God. Do not ask technical questions. Keep it short and do not ask
Paper towel. I'm building different. These coils aren't making near enough flags for me. Just can't say the F word. Is this for my benefit? Listen, you know what? I have no filter. I cannot be censored. Simple as that. Isn't that right, Mike? All right, so coil number 1 wasn't that good. Kind of a failure. So
Did it burn?
no, I mean it was working. It just wasn't producing near enough flag.
You're right there.
So I'm gonna go for more flag. I'm gonna be a clad blowing twat.
Yeah.
Well,
Semi-omer.
blow actual clouds. Semi-omer.
Gold to my ear.
So, let's try again. Who is this?
Coming up about 8 o'clock. Sleep. Get some air in my shorts.
In country music, you just don't use the F word. That explains why I don't listen to country music, I guess.
She said, I'll explain my desire and need to properly handle a gun. Perfect, see?
Alex.
Mm-hmm. What?
Song.
Down, down.
It's actually, you know, I don't want to read too much into that song, but it's kind of strange, to be honest, that, you know, country music is all about, theoretically, all about life, right? And hardships. And have you ever met a redneck that didn't cuss? Have you?
No.
Ever met the redneck that didn't swear?
No.
And yet there's no swearing in their favorite music? Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
I don't know where we found him. It typically comes in a white or pink crystalline. Keep reading, biatch. And it's foul smelling. It can be eaten, snorted, injected, or vaporized in an electronic cigarette device, according to the National Institute of Doing Drugs, which has included Flocka.
The National Institute of Doing Drugs. Is that an actual institute?
No, I made that up.
Okay.
Flocka on a list of emerging trends. Is that how you say it? Flocka? Flocka?
Yeah, I've heard of Flocka.
All right. It's particularly potent when vaporized, sending the drug into a bloodstream more quickly. Yeah, I mean, that's why I want to get cannabis oil. And making the user particularly susceptible to overdose. Read more at the MiamiHerald.com. Blah, 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 blah.
Excellent. So we
Did
got
you
a
really
bunch
call
of
me a bitch?
so there's
Seriously?
a bunch of muzzes vaping cotton there, basically.
I would think we'll be vaping just about anything. I'm getting mixed.
They're gonna start vaping food particles.
I'm getting mixed signals on the cannabis oil, though.
In what respect?
I'm getting people saying that it does exist, it doesn't exist. It's legal in Georgia with a prescription, and
I guess there's
not.
two kinds. I did a little looking into it. There's two kinds. There's CBC derived from marijuana, which is
no THC.
CBD, sorry, which is derived from marijuana, which is legal with a prescription. And
That
then
does have the
there's,
THC.
Then there's CBD derived from hemp, which
Doesn't have the C.
right,
THC.
and is from what I understand is perfectly legal right now in Georgia. So
Why are we blurry? Why is YouTube blurry? Or is it just my glasses?
No, Mike.
No, it was just my
It's because
glasses.
it's Google Hangout.
You know what? Shut up.
how can you tell? It looks so small on my screen.
That's the story of my life.
All right, let's see if this is
30 seconds.
more
30 seconds.
35, really.
more sub-ohm-ish.
Come on, baby. Oh. Okay, so let's we'll talk about the NRA a little bit, then we'll call Sierra.
You got a number for me?
I do.
You want to write it down?
No,
Too bad.
I just show it to you.
Just write it down.
Easy.
I don't want to work.
And
And we're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Wayne's World. Excellent. Wayne's World. So I got to write the number down. Okay. Real quick, or not real quick. What am I talking about? We still got like 2 hours left. No, not that long. Hour and a half. NRA, man. All right, here's the deal. Here's my take on the NRA, because I've been around longer than all of the others there. Okay. When the NRA first came out, it was a bunch of fat, white, shotgun toting, rifle scoped guys. And I'm sure they had, they had their reasoning behind starting this, but the NRA is huge now. It's huge with
It needs to be a lot bigger.
well, it is one of the largest lobbying arms, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that thing is huge.
They
Now,
have,
I mean,
they have roughly 5 million members at the moment, but all right, I'm not going to even let you talk anymore, Mike. I'm taking over from here.
Oh, you're done with the sub-ohmage?
No, I'm
want
still
me-
going. I'm
do you want
still
me to
trying to trying to get this as sub-ohm as I need it to be.
You want me to meet
Look,
him?
there are there are 100 million gun owners in this country.
Okay.
The NRA has 5 million members.
But
go ahead.
But not every gun or every membership card holding gun owner only has one gun.
No, I'm not saying there are 100 million guns in this country. There are 100 million gun owners.
So
individuals that own a gun in this country, I believe there are about 100 million.
Now, how the hell would you come up with that stat? Because how many guns do I own?
Yeah, but there are hundreds of millions of guns.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a difference. There are far more guns than there are gun owners, obviously. But I believe
what makes this world great.
I thought the statistic was 1 in 3 people own a gun. I'll look it up and verify. Anyway, it's a lot of people, and only 5 million of them are members of the NRA. Only 5 million people believe it's worth a little bit of their money each year to protect their right to own a gun.
I think the 5% is huge.
It's 5 million. Not 5% would be 15.
Okay, you said 100 million.
Here's the thing.
Million.
No, 5% of the population would be about 15 million people. If the NRA had 15 million people as members, if they had 5% of the population as members, our gun rights would never come under attack.
But you said that 100 million gun owners.
I'm going to let's say there's 100 million gun owners.
5 million of them belong.
5 million members of the NRA.
So that's 5%, dude. 100 million.
Well, it is 5% of the gun owners.
Freaking okay, look.
What they need is 5% of the population. So anybody that owns a gun that isn't a member of the NRA, why? My question to you is why? All right, I hear people say I don't agree with everything they do. Well, neither do I. I don't agree with everything they do. I don't agree with everything my representatives do. I don't agree with everything anybody does.
I don't think you agree with what you do.
But here's a simple fact. If we did not, don't think for a second Republicans are going to protect your right to own a gun. No. The only reason they care is because we have an NRA. If we didn't have the NRA, none of us would have guns. None of us.
Really?
Absolutely.
Nah.
Every politician has already said, if I have the votes and without the NRA, I'll ban them all.
Nah.
Even politicians in office now are on record saying that, and they will. They'll ban them all.
Well,
and people say
it.
It'll never happen here. It has happened here. Look at Louisiana. Look at New Orleans after Katrina. The gun grab that was going on there, going around and just stopping people trying to leave the city, searching their vehicles and stealing their guns.
Do you know why?
Because they wanted the guns.
There's a state of freaking emergency down there, man.
And that's the very last time you want to take away people's ability to defend themselves.
There was a lot of craziness going on down there at that time. There were mercenaries from every country in the world there, walking around with Uzis and everything else.
Since then, we now have a law in Georgia that prohibits them from seizing guns during a state of emergency.
Well, I mean, okay, so let's. I mean, would you give up your gun under any circumstances?
I think when it gets to the point that the police are at your door to collect your weapons, it's too freaking late.
Okay, well, no, you didn't answer the question.
You have one of two choices. You can either give them over and try to fight to get your rights back, or you're going to die. You're going to fight and die. Simple as that.
All right,
because regardless of what anybody thinks, they outgun us. And I know the police, they outgun us. If they're coming to pick up your guns, they're not coming one or two. They're coming with a whole bunch of them. And I know, I hear people say, well, out of my cold dead hands. Well, it will be literally out of your cold dead hands. So why not pay a little bit of money now and prevent that from happening in the first place?
Well,
I can tell the listeners how to join the NRA for $10 a year. If it's not worth $10 a year to keep your guns, you don't deserve your guns.
That's
simple as that.
I could go with that. I can agree with that. Why don't you tell us how we can do it for $10 a year?
Oh, the NRA has a associate membership. I'll pull up a link real quick.
Yeah, you do that since we were going to be talking about that topic, and you're still playing over there with your vape.
So the NRA have a number of levels of
membership,
and one of them is a
associate.
Hold on, I'm looking it up. Yeah, one of them is their associate membership. It's $10. If you go to joinnra.nra.org, and you'll see a list of 1, 2, 3, 5 years. Right below that, in some small text, is life member, junior member, distinguished member, and associate member. If you click on associate member, it's $10 a year. You don't get the magazine, but you don't need the magazine anyway. What you need to do is join the NRA, because numbers in this case matter. It's not money, right? The NRA right now don't need money. They need members. They need to be able to go to politicians and say, we have 10 million members. We have 15 million members, because that membership is what matters to politicians.
Well, it's numbers, it's voters.
Yeah, it's vote. Those 50. If we could get 15 million members in the NRA, nobody would ever challenge our gun rights ever. And gun owners need to realize this. And if it's not the NRA, then the Second Amendment Foundation. Do not join, or in Georgia, join Georgia Carry on a state level. They're fighting for our rights.
I think
there are
big
organizations which I'll call them out right here and now. The National Association of Gun Rights and Georgia Gun Owners. Do not join those groups. Just look up Dudley, I can't remember his last name, Dudley so-and-so in Colorado. Look to see what this organization did to gun rights in Colorado. These anti-gun bills that got passed directly because of that gun organization. They infuriate me.
Here's
the thing.
To take a breath.
It has to be worth $10 to you to protect your right to own a gun.
Right.
They are coming after guns. Simple as that. This isn't Mike, you say that, but this isn't going away.
Well, I mean, what are the signs that they're coming after our guns? For our listeners.
Well, first of all, there's the Handgun Purchaser Licensing Act that's going through Congress right now and is receiving very little opposition.
No, it's
okay. Listen, I hear that, but would you back in what, 1996 with the Brady bill, the handgun ban back then, right up until that point where people were saying nah, but they were, and so why can't we learn from history? Why do we sit here and say nah, like it's not going to happen when it's already happened?
What did the Brady bill, bottom line up front, accomplish?
Bottom line was an assault weapon ban, a ban on high capacity or standard capacity magazines. It banned importation of a lot of different guns into the United States. And a number of classes of rifles were not just assault rifles, but a number of what they call assault rifles. A number of classes of other rifles were banned as well. Obviously, they're pushing now again for another assault weapons ban. They're pushing for they're pushing for a ban without even a grandfather clause.
I know, but okay, let's say, and I don't want to spend all night on
they're
this.
They're pushing for universal background checks, which sounds great, right? It sounds really good until you realize it can't be accomplished without registration. The only way they know if I sell you a gun privately is if that gun's registered. So when they say, oh, we want, it's common sense to have universal background checks.
Hold on,
ask yourself if you want gun registration.
I need you to breathe. What do you mean by a gun being registered? There is no gun registry in this country.
I understand that, Michael, but this is what
he said. Michael,
this is what universal background checks will require is a universal.
Well, logistically, is that even possible? You said there was 100 million plus weapons in this country, correct? Probably closer to 200 million guns in this country.
I see where you're going. I know where you're going.
Yeah, but I just look at things logistically.
Is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible. It would be very easy to say, okay, you now have to register your guns. Whether people go out and do it or not is a different matter entirely. But then that's mass civil disobedience, and there's a very good chance they send people to your door to come get them. Because whether you think there's a list of whether you own guns or not, of course there is.
Well, I mean, when it comes from the dealer, but after that, geez.
I mean, even from the dealer, they're supposed to get rid of those records. But do we honestly believe the NSA is going to record, Auntie Lucy's conversation with, cousin Veronica, but they're not going to record your gun sale? Come on.
The sky is falling. All right, let's call Sierra for me. and let's just get her take on that. While you're dialing that up, I'm going to bring up a couple things about the NRA real quick.
The thing is, it can be easily prevented just by joining an organ. Well, not just the NRA. It could be the Second Amendment Foundation. It could be, a number of things.
Well,
I would say the NRA, because they're the largest group and numbers matter. In this case, numbers do matter.
Right. And what I did was I put a link on Guns and Gadgets on Facebook to becoming an associate member of the NRA today. And it's got the little link and everything else for you.
All right. Well, we're going to call Sierra and get her take on all.
Well, she's probably not going to talk too much NRA, but I just want to switch gears before Alex comes over the table and tries to strangle me for playing.
Well, it's got to be worth $10 of your money. And if it's not worth $10 of your money, you don't need to have a gun.
And think of it this way. That's probably an hour on the range, and you're talking about it pays for a year.
It's 2 coffees at Starbucks for some of these fat asses.
All right, well, let's call Sierra.
Wow.
I'm sorry, it just grinds my gears when people sit back and do nothing and expect other people to do it for them, and then at the end of the day, when it all goes wrong, they're going to say, what happened? What happened? How did this happen? Well, it happened because you don't get off your ass and do something.
Hello.
Hello. Sierra.
Hey.
Sierra, what are you doing?
This is she.
This is she. Hey, I was letting our listeners know this is Sierra 6 calling from Muskogee County down at Columbus, Georgia, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Columbus, Fort Benning area.
Around the Fort Benning area, home of the infantry. Building 4. Red Cloud Range, 6th Division Road, Ranger School, home of the airborne.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. I was about to say, God help me. I hope I got some of these right. I used to live down there. So how are you doing this evening?
It's a great evening. We just left the range. It was a good time.
See, I'm telling you, this girl shoots. This girl shoots more than I want to shoot, and that's crazy. What were you shooting tonight?
Let's see. Well, I took my little girl with me. She's 11 years old, and we were playing my Glock 22. She was on a Glock 19, the 4th Gen 9mm.
Good deal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when did she start shooting? Because my goal as a firearms instructor, I generally 10 is about the youngest I'll take somebody shooting with me.
Right. She started when I started, and we've only been at this like 4 months, believe it or not, but we have had the best time.
Do you want to do a plug for the range that you use?
Right. I'm using Shooter's Range right now in Columbus, Georgia. I've also used the East Alabama Gun Club as well.
Okay. Is that over in Phoenix City?
Yes, it is. I like both of these ranges. One's an indoor, one is an outdoor.
Now, one of the things that I do with my students is I always talk to them outside the range, and a lot of my students are females. And one of the things I always told them is don't be intimidated when you go in there, even if you don't know anything. Now, I got to ask you, when you go in there and you've only been shooting for 4 months, I mean, you're not I'm an old burly guy, retired disabled combat vet. I go in there, I probably know more than the entire staff, so they don't give me flack. How about you? Do are you treated correctly?
Yeah, they treat me great. They have been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they make sure, well, especially with my daughter, they really wanted to make sure she understood what she was doing when she was back there. But they treat me with respect. And I've never had a problem with these guys. It's been awesome. Everybody is so friendly.
Really? That's cool. And they don't try to do the whole, well, you're just a girl. Okay, good. That was, I think that was one of the, what would you refer to that as? I don't know, bad parts of the whole shooting thing,
Misogyny.
Gesundheit. I think Scotty got a misogyny yesterday.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guarantee you she's run into some guys that are, little lady, I'll teach you how to shoot. And then she shoots them under the table.
Yeah.
I mean,
I tell you what,
they were in shock that, I've only been shooting as long as I had, but, a lot of the guys tried to steer me away from even the weapon that I'm using now, the gun that I'm using. They told me it was too much for me, and And I have to tell the women out there, don't listen to that. And I've been shooting a 40 and a 45, and I'm loving both of these.
Cool.
Pistols.
I was walking over there. What do you shoot?
I'm sorry.
Oh, Alex, my co-host, he didn't hear what weapon you were firing.
I use a Glock 22 40 cal.
Mm-hmm.
Like this evening, I was also using a 45. So, I just don't listen to the men out there that tell you can't handle this weapon, that it's going to have too much recoil. Just,
No, it's all technique.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
Absolutely.
no mind block there.
Now, obviously, you're an independent woman, and when you went to purchase these handguns, did somebody go with you? Did you do your own research? How'd that come about?
No, I had a lot of people that everybody had an opinion as to what I needed, and I went in, and these guys made me feel so comfortable about buying this weapon that they explained everything to me, and they did not make me feel stupid about it. And I went by myself. I don't think you have to take someone with you. I don't think that's important.
Did you use the internet any? Did you look stuff up?
Sure I did.
Okay.
But I don't think until you get the weapon in your hand, you don't know what's going to fit your hand.
Yeah. Now, have you done? Do you? Gosh, I hate to ask you that, but I was going to say, do you carry the weapon concealed?
I do.
Okay. You didn't really have to answer, but.
Well, I work as a social worker, and I work child abuse cases in several counties here in Georgia. And I'm going into some pretty tough places. A lot of drug houses, and the hardest places that you can hit in my area.
Jenny came in, and I was talking to her about how she carries. How, as a female gun carrier, how do you carry?
Well, I mean, I use I carry it actually in my purse.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to like carry or anything when I go on. So I have to carry my purse in with me.
Well, I'm on the internet. I'm on especially Facebook because I do pretty much the social media stuff for the entire station for Just for Fun Radio. But and we have different shows and whatnot. But so I'm always looking at groups and stuff like that. So I got to ask you, have you joined any groups on Facebook or anything, or are you just kind of shooting this alone because of your independence?
Well, I've joined some groups, but I don't have time to participate in a lot of that. I do this for me. This is about personal safety for my house and my person. And I know that the more that I hit that range, the better that I'm going to be, and the more accurate I'll be. I have to be comfortable with it, and I'm very comfortable with it now.
Have you ever fired a handgun without hearing protection?
I actually, I have at one time, but it was not
under good. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. No, I did. I was not. Well, I was bringing it up. I ask all of my students to break the seal on their hearing protection at one point or another during their training, because it's truthfully amazing how loud a handgun truthfully is, and I don't want people to shoot it in their home, dealing with an intruder, and freak out because God, I mean, an M4 without hearing protection. And you're squeezing off a bunch of rounds, your vision will blur from it, So, well, that's cool. Let's see. I mean, you plug them. You just shooting regular ammo on the range, or are you doing the whole shoot what I carry on a daily basis?
Yeah, I'm just shooting what I carry.
There you go. I have these high speed, hollow point, mercury tipped, dipped in poo. I spent way too much money on ammunition to carry on a daily basis, and now I won't shoot it, and that's not a good thing. I think the way you're doing it is correct. The ammo you're going to carry.
I'm asking for ammunition donations, and
yeah, it can get steep.
Yeah.
I know there's a place up here called Atlanta Ammo. They got some pretty good prices. So.
Yeah.
And plus, we'd love to have you on the show one Tuesday night in person.
Okay, perfect.
How about that?
Yeah,
So come up and pick up a case of 9mm, a case of 45, a case of 40, and come on the show one Tuesday night.
All right, that sounds like a plan.
All right, Sierra, we appreciate your time. I know you are extremely busy. Just so our listeners know, Sierra and I have been talking about trying to get her on the show for months. She is a very busy woman. She's very, she has, her children and whatnot. And obviously, she told you about a tough position and a job that she has. Thank God for people like you working for those kids,
Well, it's, it's an honor. It's a hard job, but, I can handle it.
Right. Well, we appreciate your input tonight, and I will shoot you the topics for next week because now that we've got you, we're not going to let you go.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, Sierra, thanks for calling in. We'll talk to you.
Good night.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
And
Bye.
good night. All right. Where are we at there, McLevin? We need to do a commercial?
Yeah, we got to pay the bills.
Let's pay the bills. This is Guns and Gadgets on Just for Fun Radio. We'll be back in a minute. 4 months. You see what I'm saying? My students, I had one text me right before the show started, and she said it's her 31st year anniversary. Her and her husband went shooting, and she said that because when she was training, she had a tendency to bring her right thumb up, and she got nicked a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And so after about the third time, third time, I'll yell at them, and then I'll go, I'm not telling you again, but we're not going to stop training because you cut your hand open. So they'll do it. And like I said, one time she had her thumb up straight in the back. I mean, it would have ripped her thumb out of the socket. So she told me tonight when they went to the range, she goes, I'm doing exactly like you're saying. I've never had an injury on my hand again. She goes, but Rick, that's her husband. She goes, Rick cut his hand open. Hey, show him how to do it, That's what training's all about for me. That's especially firearms training. I used to do a demonstration with a laser on my weapon. As far as closing my eyes or blindfolding me and me drawing my weapon and listening to where you are and putting that laser dot on you to show you that you can do it.
Yeah, I actually practice that.
I practice it all the freaking time. And, new shooters don't, they're like, oh, that's like, you've been doing this for 35, 40 years. That's the way it's going to be.
Yeah. I
like this.
Listen, I don't think that's something, I think a lot of that is instinct, instinctual point shooting. A lot of it is, it's acuity.
It's taking everything in.
Yeah. It's being, I don't want to say being in touch with your senses because that's like really weird, but,
oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's something that I do. It's something that I train. And
you ever do the
obviously
I
no loaded weapons involved in a scenario like that because you need somebody to make the noises and become the threat. But I'll pick out a threat anywhere in a room with my eyes
closed. Where you're at. How about the under the bed or around the corners? One of the drills I do is to drop the walls or whatever. And have them put their hand up to it and put it in there, like that.
Mm-hmm.
And right-handed, they're so happy. And they'll go, okay, switch hands. And they'll go, why?
Right.
And I'll go, what side of the hallway was your bedroom on again? Because I always go talk to them at their home. So, and they'll always, if it's on the right side, they're going to come out. And
yep.
It's like,
I mean, again, when I'm training, half of my training is weak hand. I mean, half of it.
I do switch hand. I was showing my grandson how to reload a weapon if he gets shot in the hand with his other hand. And he was like, this is so cool. You can do it. It's,
yep. You ever seen a failure drill one-handed?
It's cool, man. I love it. Reloads, tactical reloads. You name it. I haven't gone to the range.
Yeah, you have to. How?
Did you see our Facebook page is growing?
It is.
Yeah, oh yeah, at a nice pace. We're over 300 now.
So if you're, let's say, this comes back to what I always say. If you're in a fist fight, you expect to get hit, right? So if you're in a gunfight, what makes you think you're not going to get hit? And one of the, a lot of times it's going to be your extremities that get hit. So you end up with a hand. So if you have a malfunction and this hand's out of action, you have to know how to clear that malfunction. So normally, for a class 1, it's a tap and rack. So with one hand, you tap it and then you rack it on something. I use my belt personally.
Same thing.
You can use a desk, but that's why I think these sites are really good, because they have such a defined ledge here. I can hook it onto anything and get that slide back. Now for something like a double feed, again, you got to be able to strip the magazine out, and I use an inertia bump for that. I'm not going to load a magazine because it has rounds in it, but normally, you press the magazine release, the magazine either falls free or you strip it out with your hand. Without that, you smack it against your thigh or your knee or something, which whacks it out that way. Again, these are all things people need to train for, but they rarely do.
And here's the thing now, and I'm gonna rag on them a little bit. The NRA has these huge teaching manuals, these training manuals, and you pay so much money to become an NRA certified this or that, and none of those training manuals teach you how to train it.
Yeah, I've never taken an NRA class simply because they don't offer what I look for in a class.
Well, yeah, but you would think advanced assault shotgun would be awesome.
You would think they don't. It's not tactical or combat shotgun. It's just.
And it's usually taught by some guy that's older than me and heavier than me.
Yeah.
But it's not hard now to go online. To go to YouTube, to go to those and to find those amazing videos. I mean, there's just
that's still not the best it can get, right?
Oh no.
Oh God, no, that's tiny.
Yeah, that's little.
Yeah, that's
it's impressive, but it's.
There we go. No, we still can't see the beam. A little bit. There it is. I bet you if you turned off the lights, we could, but that'd just be weird. Let's see. See, there we go. We got a little beam. Can you see that online?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can. Cool. There we go. Look, I got little mini laser. Cool. That does smell good. What you got there?
That is Sergeant Vapor Spec Ops, which is mint chocolate.
Okay,
Why they don't just call it mint chocolate is beyond me.
Check it out.
No, it's Spec Ops.
Oh. Yeah, that doesn't smell too bad. That, like I said, man, you know what? I like the whole theory and all that other stuff. I just got to find a flavor I like, I guess. But I tried that whatever, and it had a lot of nicotine, and it just kind of left a seriously bad taste in my mouth.
See, I bought this today because I was going to blow some clouds on the show, and I bought 3 milligram nicotine. So it's nothing. It's like no nicotine for me whatsoever.
You use about 12?
I use 18.
18.
About a minute.
Okay.
So I'm having to chop on this a lot.
Here we go.
It's mint chocolate. Shut the fuck up.
Hey.
If the ladies can freaking do lavender, if the ladies can do lavender and eucalyptus, we can do mint chocolate.
God, did you just low ride my chair?
He's been in there farting too. Oh, you knocked me out.
Well, you may go back to that in 30 seconds. I saw something. That. Come on, Brian.
Is the audio clipping again?
No, remember this morning we were blurry?
Yeah, that's what I said to him a little bit ago, and we weren't
You
sure.
saw it again.
Yep.
I just flipped on YouTube just to see myself, and I'm like,
Did you hear me say it?
no, I just flipped on YouTube, and within a couple of seconds, I watched the autofocus,
Yeah.
which means
All right, we're going on.
something ain't right with the autofocus.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
And we're back. It's Guns and Gadgets on Just for Fun Radio. It's September 1st. We're looking at about 20:30. The boss came over to the studio. And he has joined us in the Just for Fun worldwide internet radio Studios. Apparently, we're having some technical difficulties with our YouTube channel, but it's not like a big bad problem. It's just something that McLovin screwed up.
No, no, it's everything's fine. I don't know. Maybe that
He did.
caused the autofocus.
Well, he just did that.
Oh no,
Yeah.
don't be blaming
Yeah,
McLeod
he
blowing.
He just
No,
did that.
because think about it.
Mc-
The time I saw it, that would have been another minute time frame. So,
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Then that's possible. That's possible. But yeah, he hasn't been fogging us out till lately, which is it's got a mint chocolate flavor to it.
yeah, the autofocus is turned off, so I don't know why it.
Really? Okay. No, that's
doing
cool.
that.
I'm thinking McLovin broke it.
No, he did nothing wrong.
Oh, God, you're not helping.
I know you're just looking for a reason to blame the gay guy.
It's not a
Haven't
choice.
you been blamed enough?
It's not a choice. Whatever.
You have the power.
Oh, so what we were talking about during the break was the fact that the NRA training manuals are maybe not quite as high speed, low drag, Class A's light coat of oil and tennis shoes.
Right.
You know what? You can't fight that too much. It's a big the wheels of the big corporation. Move slowly.
They're appealing to 5 million members, and not all those members train the same way we do.
yeah.
So
And I would think for the best thing, and then they have the programs for the youth, but the safety of it, and look, they give you insurance, they give you the emails and the news feeds, and you know what? I put it on our page. Yeah, everybody go sign up. Go sign up if you're not already a member. It's an associate membership. It's $10. I mean, for all practical purposes, if you can't afford $10, PM me, and we'll see if we can't work something out. You can cut my grass. I don't have any grass. In fact, in a couple more months, I should be homeless. So my new address will be, I'm thinking a 3rd-story cardboard box under a bridge somewhere, or maybe my license plate.
Ooh, third
There's-
story.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of room under this table.
No, there's not.
Plenty. Maybe not for you, but there's plenty of room for a regular sized individual under this table, Michael.
Yeah, well, in the mornings, there's a very mean dog under there.
Oh, is he?
Her, Bella.
She's
Now
not
Bella loves
mean.
me. Bella loves me,
I
but
thought it was the other one that was mean, the one he used to have.
well, yeah. But Bella, she doesn't like men. She doesn't care, but she likes me. She's seen me enough.
She
now,
likes
so.
me.
She doesn't like you, but you're not a man either. So yeah. All right. So gun wise, and then of course we wanted to switch over a little bit and start talking. I want to start getting into prepping. Because like I said, I'm not really a survivalist. I'm not really a conspiracy theorist or a post God, I hate saying this, post apocalyptic kind of guy. But I do believe that prepping is a good idea.
You don't think the zombies are coming?
Well, I think the zombies are coming, and I'm glad you brought that up because let's start.
Don't you call it Zed?
I
Are you
used
really
to.
British?
I used to. But zombie is the same regardless.
Zed.
Let's.
I like Zed better than zombie.
World War Z.
Ooh, that just sounds sexy. Let's start kind of.
Hey, listen, I
a
have
dialogue.
no doubt in my mind that our government's capable of screwing something up so badly that we end up with zombies.
But I mean, come on, dead human beings.
I mean, it would probably be lab rats, to be honest with you, right? They'll reanimate some lab rats for some reason.
I'm
and,
thinking it's going to be like the meth heads, or some drug that comes out that takes over and really turns people into whack jobs that can't be reasoned with. And you know what? We'll hold this rifle off till next week because now you got me talking zombies, and quite frankly, I do love a zombie or two.
All right, let's go zombie on this.
Let's go
thing.
zombie all over this thing.
Pick one weapon.
You mean? I'm sorry,
That
you
you
kind of
have-
caught me off guard there.
That you have one weapon to effectively destroy a zombie.
I'm going to carry an M4.
Okay.
That's it, man.
M4.
Yeah,
Four.
I got.
All right.
I'm
Now,
an M4 kind of guy.
no bullets left. What do you do?
With the M4, butt stroke to the head, baby. Bayonet.
All right, so one weapon that cannot be a gun.
Mm-hmm. We'll go with that.
for the zombie apocalypse.
Now, can we still do crossbow, combo?
Probably a
No
decent
projectile. No projectile.
Okay.
It has to be close quarters.
a decent fighting machete or one of those Gurkha knives.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm thinking bat.
Y'all are all wrong.
Whatever.
We probably do. What is it? Bow and arrow?
Katana.
A katana? Well, for me, machete. Have you ever tried fighting with it or tried using a katana?
Oh, a machete?
No, a katana.
A katana.
No.
Have you
It
ever-
ain't easy.
It's not easy.
It's not
And it
easy.
requires a lot of room. A machete
lot
or
of,
a machete or a Gurkha knife, you get a nice 18-inch blade or something
Yeah.
with a little hook on it. You can fight in
See,
close.
that's
Nice.
you know what we ought to do is let's set up maybe a little schedule and do you have a lot of knives? I'm a knife guy.
I don't have a lot. I used to have a beautiful katana. It was I want to say like 100-something years old.
Oh, really?
It was the only thing that she took during the divorce,
Oh,
and there's a reason she took it:
I'm sure.
spite.
Oh.
Well, you know that the actual Japanese katana was not allowed to be sold in the United States, and guys from World War II were bringing them home,
Right.
and they were being confiscated.
Right.
Most of the blades that were actually coming that were sharp were Spanish.
Mhm.
They were still called a katana, and they had the shark skin and all that other stuff. But with light of the James Bond series, Live and Let Live was the first time that a ninja was actually shown. And when a ninja was finally shown on TV, the questions came about why is a ninja sword straight and a katana bent? And a lot of people didn't know that. And that's just the way the tempering of the soft metal as opposed to the tempering of the cutting edge or the leading edge.
Okay. 3 celebrities.
That's what I'd go with right there.
3 celebrities you could pick to be in your zombie survival group.
None. Celebrities are stupid.
Okay, Jennifer Aniston, Taylor Swift, and who do you think third will be for me?
Nicki Minaj.
No, Jennifer Aniston. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, Michael. What skills do they bring to the table for you?
Oh, buddy,
It's not the table.
it's
the
not
bed.
you know what? That show comes on at midnight, buddy.
What? But I mean, seriously.
I would gladly take care of them. I mean, they could just stay and make dinner and do the dishes.
If they're
Okay.
if you could name a celebrity that had the level of training required to survive that, I would take that person.
None of them.
Exactly.
Yeah. They could act. Hey, I tell you what, if we got okay, you get to pick anybody. Who you going to pick?
I'd pick you. Definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Not for speed and agility, obviously,
Yeah.
but for no knowledge. And,
Cannibalism or
yeah.
I don't
Go
care.
to sleep, Michael.
What but what did we talk about? What did we say when I think we were at lunch or something? Cannibalism is that's gonna it came out the 6th series of The Walking Dead or whenever, but I hate to break it to you, it's gonna come out a lot faster than that. Now you know what, if hunters aren't out there chasing down deer on a seasonal basis, there will be deer in your driveway. There'll just be so many deer. Yeah, there's estimated 2 million deer in Georgia, and they said that if one year they didn't let it go, it would be like 20 million deer. I'm using exaggerated numbers.
Food isn't going to be a problem. The problem is going to be water.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the first thing is panic because of no power. I'm almost a firm believer. I kind of like this. We're going to call this the zombie hour or zombie half hour. No, we'll call it the zombie hour, but we'll only do a half hour. That'll confuse people. So yeah, what's your take on that? You were saying lab rats. Are you being serious? Is that what you think it's going to come
Oh
from?
no, I'm
Hey, look,
I'm being facetious, obviously.
Yeah.
But again, if anyone is going to do this, it's going to be a government with some failed experiment that's going to go wrong, and the government aren't the most competent bunch, are they?
Oh wow, I'm getting a phone call from one of my other son. So yeah.
But no, I mean,
a son. That was my smallest. That was Santino.
yeah, I mean, obviously the power is going to go out, but people will adapt to that very quickly. What they won't adapt to is, or at least this generation of Kroger shoppers, they're not going to adapt to hunting and finding water is going to be the biggie. We can go for weeks without food or without a lot of food. You can't go a couple of days without a good source of water. And yeah, I mean, I have a lot of bottled water at home.
Well, we were talking about like here
but you need
at the studio, the lake behind us, but that would become polluted.
It would be polluted within days because
Yeah,
people would be going out there to dump their waste and to bathe, and it would not be a potable source of water.
Now, and a lot of people they misunderstand what it takes to sterilize their water. There is a process involved.
Yeah.
So I say the power that takes a little getting used to.
Luckily, where I'm headed, there's a natural well.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. There you go. Do you think the water tables will become poisoned?
It really depends on what the disaster is, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, if it's radiation or biological, there's a potential for groundwater or water table contamination. If that happens, you gotta find other ways to purify your water.
Well, I tell you what, I got to give it to my son. He's only called like 12 times in a row. So I got to give him that. He's a good kid.
But let's go with the obvious extreme that everyone talks about, the zombie apocalypse. No, I don't think there will be any contamination of the water table. There'll be contamination of what we now conceive to be potable water sources.
Have you ever tried any of those water purification systems?
I mean, I've tried the tablets. I've tried
the tablets are bad.
Yeah, they are.
QuantaPlean.
Yeah, I've tried the filters. There's these handheld pump type filters.
There's even the straw.
Which work quite well, by the way. But again, that's for a very limited supply of water. That's basically just water to drink, right?
Right.
If you look at all the water we use and that we need, water to cook, water to drink, water to bathe, just think about all the water we use. You're talking about, at the very least, at the very bare minimum, 10 to 15 gallons per person per day just to sustain your life. Then you've got everything else in addition to that.
Yeah, I think,
So if you have 4 people in your home, you're looking at 60 gallons of water per day just to sustain.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I mean, I think we should all just come to grips with that fact that ain't gonna happen. There's in any situation too, you gotta at least think how much water weighs too, because if you're not living right next to your water source,
right,
you're gonna have to hump it.
Oh yeah,
and
very heavy.
The general rule is 10 pounds per gallon. And so you're saying 60
right? Gallons for a family of 4 just to sustain
600 pounds of water. So and being that I've been in certain situations where this type of thing was limited and you cut back on it, you can actually taper back on water for about 3-4 days.
Yeah, if you can. If you're just purely talking about drinking water, then I mean,
the bathing part.
I could probably go for a few days just on a couple of these bottles each day, but I would not be in good shape.
Yeah,
especially when you consider we're going to be on the move. We're going to be carry everything you need. You're going to have to carry with you. We're in Georgia, high humping in that sun is. That takes a toll on your body.
Yeah. And like when you look at the shows, they're always moving.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying the zombie movies, but any of these movies, and I don't understand that.
Even survival shows, they're always moving.
Well, that's because, the reality TV show of it is if they don't make it interesting, because if they didn't go anywhere, who would care, right?
Yeah.
But there used to be a show, you ever seen that? I think it was called Snatched, where there was like 3 guys. One was a former SEAL, one was a SAS guy, and then I think the other one was Green Beret. There might have even been 4. And what they would do is they would grab them. And so if you're hanging around in your daily life, it was so funny because they showed it. It was probably set up, but it was cool. So let's say you're you're hanging out with your family eating, and these guys would show up to the restaurant and bag you and put you in a helicopter and a plane.
Drop you off on the top of a mountain or
they
something.
drop you off at one guy got dropped off in Kenya, you know, and another guy got dropped off on an island. That was a crazy thing because he just barely made it. You got like 48 hours. And then one guy got dropped off like in the Sahara, and he did not make it. I mean, he literally was extremely sick. They had to go in and save him. And then from what I understand, reading about it, he had to take like 5 months off to try to recuperate.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, think about it. In the desert, anywhere you are, wherever you dropped off, you have 3 priorities. You have water, number 1,
Right.
shelter, number 2, food, number 3. Where are you going to find anything in the desert? Where are you going to find materials to build a shelter? Where are you going to find water? I mean, for the love of God, where are you going to find food?
Yeah, and you know, and the thing about it, like being in Afghanistan, it's on the same latitudinal line. But you know what? In the winter, you know, I was up in the mountains, pretty much in Kabul. So you know, you got snow and you got rain, and you had the seasons. You had the incredibly stupid hot days, incredibly stupid cold days, and huge temperature swings. And without protective gear, I just couldn't imagine. I really couldn't, because you know what? I love the cold weather, and I dress pretty much t-shirt and shorts year round. I can deal with it. I love it. I might throw a shamag around my neck in the winter. But for the most part, the elements is what we call it. So here I'm thinking water. Okay. And how would I, there's 2 things here. If I know it's coming, okay, prepping, or if it happens, like it happens right now. Water, how do you prepare for that? 2, the elements are going to become real important here real quick, because you don't have air conditioning. You don't have heating, you know?
Well, let me ask you about this. Let's say it's a situation where it happens right now.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that? Let's say you're out. Let's say you're whatever. I don't know where you go,
like
but
right now.
all right, yeah, right here, right now. If it happened, do you have have anything with you? Do you have a go bag? Anything?
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
I mean, I always got my bag.
Yeah. But does your bag have water and food in it? Do you have MREs or anything in your bag?
No, in the car I do.
Okay.
And I really was proud of myself. What, about 2 years ago when that snowstorm came up? It took me 27 hours to get home from Marietta, and I had to spend the night outside that night on 78.
Right.
And I tell you the honest goodness truth, I kind of enjoyed myself. I had fun.
Yeah.
And I got out because there was a woman. I could hear a woman like crying or whatever, you know. And so what happened was I got out of my car because I didn't know if somebody got hurt. And she was crying because of her phone. Her phone went out. It was dead.
Well,
and I looked at her and I went, "Do you have a phone charger?" Because I mean, I had one in my car. And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Will your car start?" And she goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, charge your phone." And she just looked at me and went, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah, here's the good thing about that. In the event of an emergency, those people will be the first to go.
Oh yeah, I'm killing
you don't
them.
have to worry about them.
I'm killing them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all their resources become my resources.
well, we got to head off to a break. That
Okay.
was our little zombie talk. We might go back into it. I don't know what's next.
Well, we'll go into our zombie talk just to finish up to get us to about 2100. Then we have another caller,
all right.
and you guys will be talking Xbox Elite.
We'll be right back.
Sounds like a
On
winner.
Just for
Guns
Radio.
and Gadgets done went Zed. See ya.
But yeah, no, I have a predetermined destination.
Do you?
Because I mean,
Well, they say that's what you're supposed to.
to a lot of people, it seems really strange, right? Well, why would you plan for that? What would you're paranoid or something? But it could be anything. It could be a biological attack. It could be
A
nuclear
snowstorm.
attack. It could
Hey,
be,
let me tell you something. There's been more
here's
than one
a-
time
here's
they're
what, I
talking
can turn
about.
the mics off.
I don't, because there's too many crossovers. What? I bet you won't.
And if you're and that all goes back into what we're seeing now with the police getting shot and stuff like that. Yeah, no, I hear you.
I don't,
You know,
I'm not worried. It's night. What's this say? You're going to be a thirsty bastard. I agree.
hell, it may be the great American gun grab that kicks everything off. You never know, right? Could be anything.
Well, without them making more ammunition, you know.
Yeah, I've got. That's the beauty of that. I have now, of course, I'll be on the move and having to carry it, but I have a lot of ammo. Ammo's heavy. I think 5,000 rounds is running low.
Well, you know, too, the government's got their they've got their hand in that too. You know, you start stockpiling ammo.
Yep. Oh yeah. Again, people say, I heard somebody say, I don't belong to the NRA because I don't want to be on a list. Well, if you've ever bought ammo, you're on a list. If you've ever used your debit card or a credit card to buy ammunition, you're on a list, brother. And it all comes down to what list you want to be on. I'd rather be on the right list. I'd rather be on the list that protects, a right that, by the way, we shouldn't have to protect. We shouldn't have to pay to protect, the Second Amendment, but we do. We're in that position. It's under a full frontal attack. I mean, you've heard Hillary's proposals, right?
I don't think
she's flat out come out and said that she wants registration of all guns. She wants a licensing system for handgun purchases. So anybody that owns a gun will have she wants them to have a license, a government license to own.
Well, retired police officers, retired military is what they talk about. It's giving us a countrywide permit carry. But I think that goes along with the whole National Guard switching over to Homeland Defense.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Believe me, then I'm not worried about the National Guard.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If it ever came down to that, I think it would be a short period of absolute turmoil. Then the military will step in, and I think there would be. I think we'd be looking at a military coup, and the military would take over the government, and they would run things until we get back on our feet. I don't think you'll ever see.
No,
I don't.
One, the army, military, whatever, the actual branches of the government would never do it. They would try probably, but it would be quelled. The next thing,
quelled by whom?
The National Guard they won't even
quelled by whom? I'm not talking about the military trying to suppress the people.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the military just taking over and making it better.
Well, one, there would have to be a leader.
I don't think that would be a problem. I honestly believe before we see the government trying to mass violate our rights, we would see a military coup.
There's no leadership.
If there's any group of individuals that actually do respect our Constitution,
forget it. The National Guard won't even show up. Hell, you can't get a certain amount of them to show up on their drill weekends.
Well, I mean, they may show up to defend their friends and family, and if it comes down to if it does come down to systematic oppression by the government, again, I think the only people that are going to be really willing, there will be a number of civilians who would be willing to put up a fight, but I think the military would gladly put up a fight to protect their loved ones, because we are talking about their loved ones.
You know a lot of people in the military?
Yeah, I know a number of them. Yeah.
No, I don't even think regular military would. If something happened, I don't think a lot of them would even show up for work. Isn't that terrible?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, again, no, we don't really know. I don't think the military would sit back and watch the government persecute American citizens. I don't think it would happen.
I don't think they would even show up. Barry, to you, tell me, if you're still listening. Yeah, I just don't think if
I mean, there's
shit
also
hit the fan, do you think the military, the National Guard would mobilize in an attempt to fight for the Constitution? Alex is saying would they? Do you know anybody in the Army who would stand up a unit or a division or somewhat leadership that would stand up for human rights, for Americans' constitutional rights? And I think you'll probably agree with me. The National Guard, as far as the states are concerned, probably won't even show up for work. I mean, there are drill weekends that literally soldiers don't show up, and you call them and they're sitting at home, and you go, "Why aren't you at drill?" And they go, "I didn't have a ride." Your roommate is in the Guard too. Why didn't you just ride with him? Oh, I'm not going to ride with him. All right, hold on, we got an answer here from Barry. Barry was a command sergeant major, so he spent his time. He goes, I believe they would to a certain degree, but would be sporadic to their local areas. Think about it. Armories were once everywhere. Yeah, they should have.
Well, I mean, obviously, a breakdown of the government will actually equal a breakdown of the military as well. None of them will have money, but I don't
see any. You know, back in the day, and Barry, once again, Barry, if you're listening, back in the day, there was like a general named Max Thurman that took us to Panama and Grenada. Okay. And let me tell you something. This guy slept in a cot right out there with us.
Right.
And this guy, he was a little bitty far. He looked like Glenn Johnson, but he was a son of a. And then there was Schwarzkopf and Colin Powell, and but then you get into, man, since then.
Well, I mean, you're talking about high profile leaders, and you know, there may not be the high profile leaders anymore, but they're still the leaders.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying is a captain used to have some importance, and now it's a joke.
Well, I know my my former brother-in-law, who we kept in touch after the divorce. He's now a brigadier general in the Marine Corps.
Right.
He's and he'll do whatever he has to.
I was about to say, now that
he'll do
guy
whatever he has to protect his family.
Well, he's at a general level. I mean, that's impressive. Command Sergeant Major Smallwood obviously got to the top of the enlisted ranks. And
all right,
well,
we're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey, it's Guns and Gadgets, and we're back. Not, I wasn't trying to make a goat joke or anything. Yeah, there's a big advantage dating sheep. Kids will never need sweaters. Okay. During the break, we were talking about Alex. Alex has a fundamental thought process about the government, or the military having specific leaders or general leaders, whatever you want to say there, about taking our constitutional rights into play and protecting us. My feeling was kind of the other way, that there is no leadership or no standout leadership. And then Command Sergeant Major Smallwood retired. He was saying in certain sporadic areas. So it's a good take on it. When do they kick in too? Okay, so because if we lose power, and I think everybody pretty much is in agreement that when we lose power, that being the first thing, then you've got to look at how do we get the word out? You know, oh, is it going to be 3 days? Is it going to be 3 weeks? Is it going to be 3 months?
Well, I mean,
do we not have a clue?
Getting the word out to whom? I mean, everybody is going to know what's going on, right? If the proverbial shit has hit the fan, everybody in the nation's going to know what's going on, including the military. They're going to know if I don't know. They're going to know if it's time to mobilize and defend their homeland. Let's put it that way.
How about you ever watch that show, The Last Ship?
No.
You ever seen that?
I don't have TV. I don't have cable.
Cheap bastard. You don't have kids either, right?
Nope.
Let's see. What do you watch? Do you watch TV?
I have Netflix. I have Hulu. I watch it every now and then.
That's what I do.
I watch it occasionally. I don't watch it right though.
I fought it forever. It's called The Ship, or The Last Ship. I didn't want to watch it either because I thought it was stupid. Then I watched a couple episodes, and actually, if you look past just the nonsense of a Russian ship, an American ship, and they're running all around the world trying to stay away from each other, but on the same note, they're trying to take over certain things. If you look at the things that they talk about, it makes a lot of sense. It really does, because we're fighters. The human race is a survivalist group. We're not all, unless something just bam knocks us completely out of it. There are going to be groups of people, tribes, cultures, whatever, that are going to continue to fight, and that's what goes on in this TV show. So like I said, here again, we start with electricity. What is it that you have as a prepper? What gadgets can you help you when you're talking about electricity, generators and whatnot? Do you have any generators?
No.
Nor I.
I do not. But again, in that scenario, I'm not planning on staying at home either. I'm on the move because I know where I'm headed.
Yeah. So you've got a bug out destination. I know a lot of people really think that generator, and they're expensive. Don't get me wrong. And of course, people buy them thinking they're going to have all the convenience of home. Mm-hmm. So as a little zombie prep talk here, I'm telling you right now, one, if you're spending all that money on a generator, why don't you cut back on the wattage and spend money on fuel? Because you ain't going to be able to run the dryer.
Right.
Let's be realistic here. You're going to have to cut back. A lot of folks have never cut back on their lifestyle, more or less, if they had to cut back completely. I think that's one good thing that the military does teach you, mm-hmm. is that you're going to have to get by sometimes with what you can carry.
Yep.
And you're going to have to deal with it. And if they hand you 2 MREs in the morning, that means ain't nobody serving chow later.
Yep. Yeah. No, I mean, my position on it, Mike, is if it gets to that point, all bets are off. My home's, for one man, is not a defensible position. Right. I'm out of there and I'm headed to a place that I know is, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Do you have a place in mind?
Yes.
Okay.
How are you going to get there? Just, planes, trains, automobile, or
obviously, if there's a lead up, then I would drive. If not, then I know where I can easily get my hands on a mountain bike or a motorcycle or a dirt bike.
Yeah. Have you ever watched
or at worst comes to worst, I hump it.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, when we were growing up, I don't know about you there, McLovin, but when I was growing up, man, I lived off of North Decatur Road, and I used to walk to North Lake Mall. It took 17 hours to get there, but I loved it. And so, it's all, I guess it's all relevant as far as that's concerned, because you don't need any gadgets at that point.
Right.
But how do you feel about alternative? And what I was getting at with the generators and gas power and whatnot is, what about other sources or alternative sources of energy?
Like a portable power source, or
I'm thinking like solar.
Or you're talking about being able to? Oh, okay.
Solar, wind. Wind takes a little, definitely.
There's potential for solar. Now, you're talking about in general now, right? Not in an emergency situation.
Well, even in an emergency situation.
In an emergency situation, you're limited to pretty small solar packs, solar panels, and they're not. They may generate enough power to, say, recharge my flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They don't generate a great deal of energy.
No. Now the solar power stuff is definitely coming around. How about what I'm trying to think of is like emergency power. Like we're talking about. I believe we got in the conversation with Scotty the other day about bringing your solar power driveway lights. Sticking them out during the day. Let's say you're in a cave, mm-hmm. or you're in your house. That's a pretty cheap way of giving yourself some lighting at night. You're not gonna. I know one thing. My nights of staying up till 3 a.m. are probably over, because it'll just come down to a resource thing. Once it gets dark, you'll go.
We would go to sleep. We'd get back to nature, right? Yeah. No, I it would not be a priority to me.
What about medication?
Oh, I'm done.
Well, I would raid any pharmacy I pass on the way to my destination.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm coming off that stuff. I'll be sucking on the leaves of a California yew tree or something. I don't know. And think about me without my medication, I could have I'll have general pain issues and mental issues, I'm sure. But think about the folks that are on the real strong stuff.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, it's a very valid point. What about medication? I
Yeah.
mean, in a situation like that, we're all subject to Darwinism. If you
Diabetes.
break a bone, if you break your leg,
Well,
and an infection sets in, what are you
You're-
going to do?
Cut it off.
cool. We could
Yeah,
have
I
a
mean,
whole room.
It's a tough situation, and nobody can prepare for every single given scenario.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Well, when we deploy, one of the things, if you are on any type of prescription medicine, you better get, they tell you to get 90 days, but if you got a brain in your head, you better get about 6 months.
mhm.
Cause you don't know. I mean, you can go places and they'll have, who knows, juicy fruit bubble gum, tons of it, but they won't have shaving razors. Or you can go somewhere. For the longest time in Kabul, there was like only one place, I believe it was Camp Eggers, that was right there where some of the headquarters buildings were. That was the only little itty bitty PX that had boots, So if your boots wore out and your supply guy couldn't help you, which, who knows if he could or he couldn't. But dang, there you go. And they set up this system. And this was the last deployment. I mean, before that, it was non-existent. And you could go online and order some of your gear, like a, cold weather toboggan or another flag. And it, you would order 10 items and 4 would show up and you'd be happy about it. And
Right.
That's all there was to it. But now look, your clothes, I'm not going to be able to wear a t-shirt, for 6 months.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think people are going to have to try to figure out, and you can't go beating these things on a rock to clean them.
Mhm.
Plus, is the water going to be clean? So you're going to wear them, and you're probably going to wear them till they just about fall off your body.
Yeah, and I'm not going to concern myself carrying a bunch of clothing. I have clothes for, I have some well, I won't say what, but I have wet weather gear and I have
Mhm.
dry weather gear, hot and cold. I have it all covered. It's lightweight. It's multi-purpose.
Yep.
And I have whatever is in my bag with me. I'm not going to worry about it too much. You can always find clothes.
I would kind of go in that way with that, is you can always find something to wear.
Right.
I mean, I don't know that how bad I would hit up I'm gonna go bust into a Kohl's right after the apocalypse, but I'm sure as I'm traveling residences, and you can make do, man.
Yeah.
I'll tear a house
Yeah.
down to burn it.
Yeah,
to
and
stay warm.
it's
I mean,
also
no,
not to say it's not to say that everybody's going to be your enemy either. I mean, what if we have social breakdown and suddenly the country unites and comes together and we all help each other,
Yeah,
right?
that's-
It's kind of unlikely, but you never
Man,
know.
It's going to be the largest rendition of Kumbaya.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're talking about all these little gadgets, or we're not talking about all these little gadgets, but let's try to get into the play. Just stay along with the storyline too of the show is gadgets. One, we have a generation, and I'm hoping Alpha Lupo, if you're listening there, if not, I text you and said call in. But here we have a whole generation. Now the Boy Scouts are still out there doing stuff. The Girl Scouts are still out there doing stuff. But we have this tremendous generation of kids that play PlayStation, Xbox games, okay? And they don't go out and do the stuff I did when I was growing up.
I
Right.
did. I went out. Oh, what? Well, explain
Dude,
what that
I went a
means.
whole summer without wearing a pair of shoes.
I did that. I went
Yeah.
a whole fall.
Yeah, but you
Doing
grew up in a freaking group home that's different.
No, I didn't. Go to a group home.
And, how would you see what I'm saying? Is
The
I,
adults would yell at me because I didn't wear shoes.
yeah, I mean, for a whole summer, I lived with my older brother, and literally, what we did is we woke up in the morning, we put our shorts on, we put a t-shirt on, and we took off, and we came back when it was dark,
Mhm.
and we built forts, and we talked about shooting.
I did that.
Yeah, but where? I mean, come on now. I mean, this isn't happening. This ain't happening in this neighborhood. This ain't happening in the
It's
neighborhood
not
I live in.
happening
Huh?
now, but when I
No.
was a kid, it still was. There.
Yeah, I mean, my kid.
And I had other friends from other family
Yeah.
units doing the same thing I did.
I have
I
friends-
don't see it.
I have friends that won't even let their kids go out in the rain.
Yeah, my kids, we have a saying, and
Love the rain.
yeah, my kids have a saying about the rain. We don't use umbrellas, and we don't run in the rain, because when you run in the rain, you don't get there. You're not any drier than if you walk, because when you run, you cover more space and you're having more rain hit you. So it doesn't do anything there. The other thing is that's when you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna slip. You're gonna do something stupid. And our joke is Sniper loves the rain. It covers our tracks and it conceals our movements. So that's just the way I taught my kids. So, we all walk in the rain. It's funny. Building a shelter. It's not the difference between maybe the shelter or someone who doesn't have any clue to it and the shelter that I would build, there's not really going to be a tremendous amount of difference.
Staying power primarily.
Yeah, probably how long it can, or what it can take and all. But you get into that. Do I know some tricks? Do I know some comforts? Yeah.
You didn't learn them as a kid, though.
Well, we spent the night in our forts.
Sure. We would build, makeshift forts.
Oh yeah, lean to, lean froze.
But it was. I can tell you right now, it was nothing that I'd be able to, stay in for, a week.
Really?
No, we didn't. We didn't put that much time into it.
Are you serious?
No, we were kids out for a day. What were we gonna do?
Man, we had forts that we maintained year round.
Mm-hmm.
Year round.
But yeah, we would build fires. We would eat berries off the bushes, and we'd be out all the time.
That's Alpha Lupo is calling on my phone. Do you want to give him the information or call him on the studio line after a break?
Yeah, I'll call you on the studio line after the break.
I had a gadget thing I wanted to talk about, which ties back to one thing we were talking about last week: the smartwatches, the Android Wear. Yeah. Google today announced Android Wear support for iOS.
Yes.
So I said I hadn't tried like the Galaxy, the Google, whatever it's called, the Android. God, the Galaxy Gear, is that what it's called?
I don't know what it's called.
Samsung smartwatches. But yeah, so they announced support for it today. Mm-hmm. I imagine it'll be delivered to the phone within the next few weeks, and I'll be able to try out some different smartwatches.
Cool. I am here to tell you, I've got one at the house, and I'll bring it in. It is, but it's not an Apple smartwatch.
Okay.
And it came out
Pebble.
It did. It came out about 2 years ago, and I think we're having a little charging problem. Okay. But I'll bring it in.
Well, what's it called?
Okay. I'll bring it in. We're going to take this call right now.
You don't know what it's called, do you?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it for the kids.
Just fun radio.
Hello.
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 How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Pretty good.
Okay.
Real quick, favorite zombie game?
Oh, jeez. I'm going to turn it over to to McLovin.
Black Ops 2, because that's the first zombie game I ever played.
A real zombie game, not some DLC.
Actually, PS1 Resident Evil 2, I think.
Okay. All right.
That's a good call. That's a good game.
Yeah. I like that. I like that series. Dead Island is a good series, I think.
Truthfully, I never really got into zombie games because, well, it's very, how would you say it, monotonous. Kind of.
Yeah.
When do I stop? Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
When you run out of zombies.
Yeah, when you run out of zombies.
Yeah, for sure.
No. I just asked that because we're on the zombie topic. What there's Xbox Elite, Xbox One Elite. Do you want to go on about that a little bit?
Yeah. Quite frankly, they're just trying to come out with something new, in my opinion. It's a marketing kind of thing for all the Xbox fanboys to kind of rave about.
He just slammed the Xbox
right in the Xbox.
Yeah.
The controller. Let's talk about the controller first of all. The controller, it seems to be kind of set up in a way to where it's a lot easier if you want to get serious about gaming. Especially when you'd have those triggers and anything like that on how you use the middle finger and the index finger. Now you're going to be controlling it with your pinky and your ring finger when you grip the bottom of the controller.
Wow.
it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Not too sure what they're trying to do there.
Why the pinky?
No.
I have no clue. I have a broken pinky myself,
Yeah.
and quite frankly, that would be the most uncomfortable thing for me.
Right, but yeah,
Well,
the
you
pinky's the
don't
first
have,
finger to
you
get
don't have
broken.
to. They uses paddle extensions, and it's
Yeah.
optional. You can if you snap on the pinky paddle extension, then you would be using your pinky. I know what you're talking about because
They're
I
just
saw this.
charging you more
I
money
saw
for
this
something.
controller demoed about 6 months ago, and I mean it's neat. But I don't see many people. I don't know. Who knows? I wouldn't use. I would leave the controller in its stock configuration. I wouldn't attach any of the paddle extensions, and I would just use it the way it was intended, the way God intended.
So waste of money.
Yes, considering that the Xbox One Elite bundle is at $500 for the starting off price.
Hey, I've got a question. Okay, you guys were talking about Xbox Elite. Now I know that Xbox has always had a pay to play online server, correct? Now PlayStation 4, correct me if I'm wrong. Now you have to pay them. What? Two questions. What is the price break on both of them? And is the PS4, I guess, network, I don't know what it's called, is it worth it?
I think it's $60 for on Xbox for Xbox Live is how much? Is that like 3 months?
It's $60 for a year on Xbox.
Oh,
and
okay.
I think and $50 for a year on PS4.
So $10 difference.
So that
Now the difference though is with the PS4, you don't have to pay to play online, right?
yes, you do.
Yes, you do. The
Yes,
You
PS4.
do now?
Yeah.
PS3,
Now you do.
Okay.
you don't.
But
Yeah.
you get a free game every month as well, right?
Yes, it's you're
Yeah,
but it's
you're a plus
crap.
member.
It's,
No,
it's
No,
freaking
from what I understand, some of them are
Pac-Man or
good games.
Some of them are okay.
Oh yeah. Just
Yeah.
last year, if I can remember correctly, the games that came out on PS3 for free are Batman: Arkham City, BioShock Infinite,
Which was game of the year. by the way.
Honored.
Yeah.
These are some really big games, and they just released them for free on PS3 like a few months ago.
Glad you said really big games. Speaking of big and exciting and new coming up,
exciting and new.
Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront. They're gonna release their beta.
Oh yeah, I am definitely ready for that one.
Did you sign up already?
Oh yeah, of course.
Now,
played the Black Ops.
Just for our
Really
listeners there, when you guys are talking about beta,
Yeah.
what is beta?
Beta is pretty much before the game even comes out, and it opens it up to all of the kind of gamers to test out and see if there's any like glitches that maybe their people couldn't find.
Right.
It's more so the more the people that are playing and kind of goofing around and trying to find out little things, it helps them to fix the game and
No,
make it even better.
It's not
everyone.
it's not everyone that it's not just mass released into the public because that'd be a waste of money,
Well, I knew this one guy before. His name was Takashi, and he was a beta tester.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there. I'm truthfully going to say like PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
And because we played SOCOM, and that was like a game that we could all play, and we all had Nextel radios, so we cheat. But no, I mean, we played other clans, we had our clan and then we play other clans. But he was a beta tester, and he would always tell us about, the things that were in the game.
Right.
And I always wondered, did he have to pay to do that?
No, well, I think sometimes you do have to pay. I don't think they're making you pay on this Battlefront game. It's a certain amount of people that sign up get to actually be beta testers.
Does it matter your age or qualifications or anything?
I'm pretty sure the age does matter.
No, because usually the parents can do and bypass that. It's kind of bad, especially when doing for like Black Ops.
What about the age difference on Xbox Elite and PlayStation 4?
What do you mean?
Is there? I mean, because I know if you play a PC game, generally you don't have the 9-year-olds cussing you out.
Oh, so you're talking
Yeah.
about the demographic that purchases
Yeah.
the machines.
There's
Yeah.
more
I think it's pretty split.
in the gaming community. Anybody below the age of, I'm gonna say 15, 14, are considered squeakers.
Squeak. I've never heard that before. That's cool. Squeaker.
Squeakers.
Below what? 15?
Yeah,
Oh, my son Santino is going to be called
Well-
a squeaker now.
yeah. It's to allude to the fact that their
Yeah,
testicles
let's
have
just
not
say
dropped.
when you have a so-called squeaker, usually you'll know if it's a squeaker when first of all they come across with a really high-pitched voice, or they start cussing you out for no reason.
Yeah,
Um,
like calling your mother a hooer.
yeah.
Or something.
Saying that,
You don't
saying
e- you
that,
don't even
they're
know
your
my
dad.
Easy. I'm a father.
Are you
um,
really?
Yeah.
Someone slept. Anyway,
Wow.
yeah.
So I see that for you, whoever's listening, that's a racing game fan. The demo of Forza Motorsport 6 went live today.
Typical Brit.
Which it's Forza is a
Typical.
great game.
Typical.
It's a really good game. I didn't like
Um,
Horizons much because I didn't see the point.
I don't.
But
That is the one thing I'll give Xbox. They have a better racing game.
What
Series.
Yeah,
no,
they do.
they don't. Gran Turismo is by far the
Gran
best. I have
Turismo's the most
I have the
boring game.
I have the
I've
whole
ever
setup.
played.
It's so boring.
but if you like racing, actual pure racing, it's a great game. I have the force feedback wheel,
you
700.
got the wheel.
It's a 720 degree force
Oh my
feedback
God.
wheel, and man, it is realistic.
Look, I'm be
It's
honest with you.
fantastic. The gear shifter, the pedals, little seat for it.
I'm-
Yeah, oh yeah.
My God.
That's so cute.
Yeah. Listen, the only reason to play video games is to race cars. That's it. That's the
Do
only
you
wait,
reason.
vape when
wait,
you're
wait.
driving?
Wait. How much did you spend on all that? Please tell me.
Oh God, I don't know. The wheel is I want to say it's a Thrustmaster. It was
I bet
the
it
the
is.
wheel, the wheel, the shifter, and the pedals. It wasn't bad. I mean, it was a few $100.
Yeah.
It's $100.
A few hundred.
Yeah. So,
But if what you play is racing games, which is
You realize
when I
we're poor
play-
college
Yeah.
kids. a
when
few
I
hundred
when I
bucks.
played, yeah, when I was playing, what I played 90% of the time was racing games. It was primarily Gran Turismo, and so to get the best experience out of the game, it was well worth the money.
Well-
hey, I mean,
Now-
kudos to you.
Now,
Mhm.
years ago, and this is like when I'm almost positive it was PlayStation 1. We would do like a NASCAR game, and it would take you 15-20 minutes to get the car and get
Yeah,
lined
to get
up
the setup done.
and all
Oh
that
yeah,
other
it's
stuff.
fantastic.
And then you had to do these like 200 lap races.
Yep.
It was
Yeah.
great. I mean, you could be there for a couple
Yeah.
hours, man.
To make my experience even better, that's the reason I bought the 3D television.
Jesus.
It
Oh my
was a Sony PlayStation branded 3D TV, 2 sets of glasses.
Mhm.
It did it does the what do they call it? Whatever it is, one pair of glasses is set to what. So if you're playing 2 players, you don't do a split screen.
Right.
You just sit, next to each other. One pair of glasses gets the first signal. The other pair of glasses gets the second. So you both are looking at the full screen.
This is with the
and you-
Oculus Rift.
No, this is
What
on
the-
the PlayStation.
No,
with
Oculus
the-
Rift is a
this was with
virtual
the-
reality helmet.
this was with the PlayStation 3D TV.
Oh, okay.
So instead of doing an awful split screen, which I hate, both players got the full screen, but they only saw their aspect of the game.
You guys don't understand the struggle of split screen because you didn't grow up in the
Nah.
actual gaming era, and if you grow up with a little brother,
Oh yeah, I did. I did.
you know the pain of
Right.
of-
Well, here's how
Oh,
you
yeah.
handle that. This is back when I was married. She and I would play video games.
Really?
And instead of doing split screen, we just had 2 consoles, 2 copies of the game, 2 TVs, and we would link them.
Yeah.
That's how you deal with
I mean,
split. You
that-
never,
That's
ever,
like a better thing.
no one does split screen.
Yeah,
Nobody's
but, okay,
anybody.
You
So-
never go split screen, bro.
Considering we went Call of Duty, me and my little brother, this is when like we're both kind of learning and stuff, and we're getting to know the mousing and everything. It was so funny, and you gotta give the little kids some props when they're able to keep watch and keep track of what you're doing and still do what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone, I usually play with some friends and everything like that, and we'll split screen between 4 people on a screen.
Yeah.
That was the beauty of this TV, though. You didn't have to worry about split screen. You could both use the same television. You
Right.
only see your part of the game
Right.
because it uses the progressive scanning. You know, it's 1 pass, 2 passes. So I'd be pass 1, the opponent would be pass 2. It was fantastic. Worked great. You didn't get the 3D at that point when you're playing 2-player. You only got the 3D with 1 player, so you get both signal passes. But it was great.
All right, hey Alpha Lupa, we're gonna have to wrap this up because our show time is. I got to do the Freedom Outdoor Adventure raffle information. And what's that noise in the background?
That would end up being my roommate.
Oh, okay. Because I was over at Southern Polytech one time. It was like a Saturday morning, I think, and there was like 15 kids in like the common area, and they had this huge TV that's on the wall, and it was split into like 8 million little squares, and everybody was like, ah. So yeah. So do you actually learn anything about computers or programming or anything at Southern Polytech, or you guys just sit around and play video games?
No, actually, right now in my programming class, considering I'm only a freshman in college right now, we're actually learning how to do Java programming.
Jesus,
very basic, but still. Oh yeah. We're learning how to program and have the computer actually respond back to us through the code, like tell us how many miles per gallon we've used on a road trip or something like that, or it say hello. My name is like Alpha Lupo. Yeah, we're learning some pretty good stuff.
It's not like the web series Video Game High School.
No, definitely not. No.
I mean, hey, we appreciate you calling in. Go back to doing your schoolwork, I imagine, or it sounds like you guys are goofing off, which you're supposed to at college. So have fun.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Talk to you guys later.
All right. See ya. Hey, I'm just going to go ahead and do the Freedom Outdoor Adventure stuff, and then we can call it a night. I mean, if that's good with you guys,
good with me.
We'll do a little closing on everybody. Freedom Outdoor Adventures is the charity that I work with. In this case, what they're doing is Freedom Outdoor Adventures is sponsoring a raffle, and they're raffling off an AR-15, and it's a M15 A4 black carbine and 5.56. It's a Bad Man Bajamba, and the drawing is going to be on the 1st of November, so there's still plenty of time left. You can purchase your tickets either online at and I'll post a little flyer up here, but it's basically at the freedomoutdooradventures.org site, the shop site, or you can contact me and I'll get you in touch with Barry Smallwood or Brandon Mook. These are part of the guys that can direct you to a pro staffer. The tickets this is what we figured out. The tickets are $20 a piece, and there's only 400 tickets total being sold. Now, all the proceeds are going to be going to taking care of veterans. Basically, what Freedom Outdoor Adventure does is they get guys like you and me, man, hunters, fishers. And when we come back and we're broken, whether it's mental, physical, social, whatever, they get us back out in the woods. And of course, that can be a pretty expensive process. But they are a nonprofit, and they're very open about what they do. And they're always in the news. And buy 4 to 5 tickets. Think about this. If you buy 5 tickets, if you spend $100, it's a great donation. But $100 gives you, what was it? Oh, what did we figure it out to be that day? 1 in 80? 1 in 80 chance to win an AR. Well, they call it a M15, but model numbers are these days. It's an M4, man. And it's a beautiful looking rifle. And we sure would appreciate anything. Give me either a call, hit me up on Facebook, Guns and Gadgets with Just for Fun Radio, or Just for Fun Radio, or Military Mike, or The World According to Mike, or Michael Madsen with an American flag as my profile pic. So, Alex, what do you think, buddy? call it a night? You look tired. Are you done building stuff finally?
Yeah, no, I'm done. Yeah, it's been a long day for me. It was another 4:30 a.m. day.
Really? Wow. 5:30 pretty much for us.
Yeah.
A long day. We got to be back here first thing in the morning for the morning show.
I
Well,
will
just
not
for fun,
be
right?
here.
You're not going to be here. You got to do the second job thing, but I'll be here. Let's see. Wednesday.
I'll come in and sit on this morning show one day.
That'd be great. I just, give us a little forewarning so we make sure that, okay.
No, I'm just coming in and
Now, you have to understand
We'll be
now,
shot.
we do lock the door.
coming in and causing havoc.
The big thing is that Wednesday night, this whole guy thing turns into Electric High with Aaron Hill and Steve Hill, and they rock the house.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they always have some great guests from entertainment world, and they play some great music. And of course, the best thing about the Aaron Hill band is she can rock out too, and periodically does it on the show. Then of course,
she's pretty darn good too.
she's really darn good.
I'm kind of sad that I'm not the only one with musical ability anymore.
You don't have any musical ability
You have no idea.
because you fart and it squeaks. That doesn't give you musical ability.
You have no idea.
And when you sleep, your body's like an orchestra.
I know more about a wooden instrument. than you
He
ever
fell
will.
asleep in the studio today between shows,
Oh.
and
Oh, really?
he's snoring.
I gotta
He's
get it in while I
farting.
can.
He's gritting his teeth. I'm like, Jesus,
I didn't know that.
I should have mic'd him. But Aaron Hill, get back to Electric High,
Yeah,
right?
sorry.
Aaron and Steve Hill do a fantastic job with that show, and it's growing in popularity.
Yep.
Then, of course, we'll have the morning show again on Thursday morning, and Ladies
Thursday
Talk
night.
Thursday night, the big show, the flagship behind the morning show is Ladies Talk with Doc. And I heard a discussion in the studio this morning about the topic for this week, and I'm not 100% sure what it is. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna challenge everybody if you're out there listening.
Well, what did they say it was?
Well, I'm not sure. That's the thing is they were talking about. I think it's like something about coming back from like credit repair, your personal credit repair.
Okay.
But then I heard DJ Scotty talking about coming life after death or something. I don't know if that meant the credit world. I know you're a divorced man. I'm a divorced man. That means you have no credit. My credit score is 14. So I'm just joking.
Yeah.
But Ladies Talk with Doc always has such a big showing, a lot of views on our YouTube channel for Just for Fun, a lot of listening, a lot of call-ins,
Yeah.
a lot of talking
A lot
about
of estrogen.
a lot of estrogen. You come in Friday morning, the place smells like eucalyptus and lavender, and it's you have to
We can't
testosterone.
crash that one.
No,
Yeah.
no. I before I forget, remind me next week for the gadgets to talk about Credit Karma.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Alrighty.
Have you ever done any of those InstaCheck or the things where you can search bug LexisNexis?
No, because I don't have credit.
Oh God, those things are ridiculous.
I don't
That's
have
such a
credit.
No,
rip-off.
I use a service called Credit Karma. It's free to
Yep,
anybody.
Same here.
And
I've heard of
well,
Credit
then
Karma.
you can monitor your credit effectively in real time.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, we could look it up.
Yeah.
So, hey man, a lot of talking tonight. We didn't really have any show and tell, but thank you, Sierra 6, if you're still listening.
I have a new weapons light to bring in for
Okay.
show and tell.
Yep,
I'll do
you
that
always-
next
you always-
week as well.
Okay, cool. And then I'll bring some stuff in, and McLovin, you'll be with us next week.
Yep.
You'll be with us any more this week during the week. in the morning?
Yes. After Wednesday, I'm good all week.
Okay. Now Friday, I won't be on the morning show.
And then I won't be here.
Okay. So imagine that.
Thursday.
So hey, Alex, thanks once
Thank
again.
you.
Thank you.
Alpha Lupo.
pleasure.
Alpha
Thank you.
Lupo, Sierra 6, thank you.
Southern
McLovin,
Polytech. Thank you.
Southern Polytech here in Marietta, Georgia. Thank you. Freedom Outdoor Adventures. Thank you. Budweiser. Thank me because I bought it.
And
This show brought to you by Cheez-Its.
Nestle Pure Life Water. Thank you.
Cheez-Its
Yeah.
hot and spicy.
Which you ate half that box during the show. By
Kind
the
of,
way.
kind of sad. I'm
That's
Folks,
half the,
we
Now,
appreciate
hold on,
you listening.
Hold on, before we tune out of here. 150 calories per serving, 11 servings. So you've had 5.5 servings. Jesus Christ. So then what's that? 800 calories? Let me figure this
God
out.
bless
Yeah.
America.
Hang
Yeah,
on.
you
Five-
fat ass.
150 times.
He has gained 50 pounds this year.
It's because
Easy.
of this
800
friggin' radio
No,
station.
no, shut up. Don't blame the radio. station.
825 calories just while we're doing the show, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fatty. All right, guys.
Hey,
Thanks for
look,
listening.
he's young enough he can get away with it.
Whatever. I hope it's.
He makes fun of me
Stays on
because
him.
it makes him feel better.
Yeah. I mean, so. Hey, thanks, listeners.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, YouTubers. And we're out of here, man. Shut us down, McLevin.
All right. Primal Scream rocks. That's the next song.
Get
So
some.
Enjoy that one.
Shaka Khan. Let's just leave YouTube on all night. That'd be like weird. You don't know what you're doing, do you? Are we gonna get hurt?
No, we're just-
All right.
Thank you, YouTube. Once I turn this on again.
Oh.